Chapter 726. Ning Qing sneered in his heart. These fellows truly had their own plans for coming here. Qin Xingwen most likely knew that he had the foreign heavens arrow on him, so he came here to inquire about it. At the same time, this fellow also didn't have any good intentions in passing the news of the foreign heavens arrow to others. As for this Yi Jiufeng, she most likely came for the Earth Origin bead. Not to mention that his Earth Origin bead had already integrated into the mysterious yellow bead. Even if it hadn't, he couldn't exchange it for the Earth Origin bead. Hearing the words Earth Origin bead, everyone's eyes immediately focused on Ning Qing. Even Striking Order Heavenly Emperor looked at Ning Qing in doubt. Ning Qing showed a calm smile. Does Nine Phoenix Heavenly Emperor know why my sect is called Mysterious Yellow Sect? Yi Jiufeng nodded and smiled. I know. It should be because you obtained a mysterious yellow origin stone. If I had such a treasure, maybe I would have renamed the Grand Spirit Heaven Starry Sky to the Mysterious Yellow Grand Starry Sky. Ning Qing restrained his smile and spoke with a solemn expression. Yes, because of this mysterious yellow origin stone, I managed to advance to my current realm in a short time. You can say that without this mysterious yellow origin stone, I wouldn't have the opportunity to sit here with you. Although I used up the mysterious yellow origin stone, I can't forget my roots and the root cause of my rapid advancement. Therefore, I established the mysterious yellow sect. Ning Cheng's fundamental purpose of establishing the mysterious yellow sect was naturally not for the mysterious yellow origin stone, but for Lufei and Qianghua. Lufei and Qianghua both knew that he had the mysterious yellow bead. As long as the two of them heard about the mysterious yellow sect, they would definitely come here to check it out. Chuan Xinluo, Yi Jiufeng, and the others glanced at each other and understood the root cause of Ning Cheng's rapid advancement. Moreover, the mysterious yellow origin allowed Ning Cheng to advance to this level in such a short time. Yi Jiufeng giggled. Sect Master Ning, I naturally don't dare to take your mysterious yellow origin stone. Instead, I want to exchange it for the Earth Origin bead. Ning Cheng sighed and said, That's exactly what I wanted to say. I obtained the mysterious yellow origin stone because of the Earth Origin bead. I exchanged an Earth Origin bead for a mysterious yellow origin stone. Therefore, even if I wanted to exchange it with Nine Phoenix Heavenly Emperor, I couldn't take out the Earth Origin bead. Yi Jiufeng frowned. Is Sect Master Ning trying to deceive me? It's impossible for an ordinary person to have a mysterious yellow origin stone. Would such a person use the mysterious yellow origin to exchange for the Earth Origin bead with you? She didn't say it directly, but everyone here understood Yi Jiufeng's meaning. How could a cultivator with a mysterious yellow origin stone be ordinary? Since that person knows that you have the Earth Origin bead, he must have killed you to snatch it. Only when he has the time would he trade with you. Ning Cheng chuckled. When I obtained the Earth Origin bead, I had not even reached the Celestial Bridge realm. It could only be said that those with treasures weren't necessarily powerhouses like Great Emperor Jiufeng. Of course, I'm not saying that the one I traded with is a weakling like me. In fact, the senior who exchanged the Earth Origin bead with me was indeed an absolute powerhouse. I dare say that even if all of us here were to join forces, we wouldn't be able to withstand a single wave of his hand. Is there such a powerhouse? Ning Cheng's words caused everyone, including Chuan Xinluo, to have some doubts. They did not believe that Ning Cheng would meet such a powerhouse, let alone trade with him. Sect Master Ning, it's not that we don't believe you. It's just that your words are a bit too shocking. I wonder if Sect Master Ning can draw out the appearance of this senior. Yi Jiufeng's tone no longer sounded as relaxed as before. Instead, it turned solemn. Ning Cheng nodded, naturally. After that, he drew out a clear portrait and said, This senior's name is Tsang Wei. This senior valued me greatly and even passed on his spirit technique to me. I think I've heard of this name before. Yi Jiufeng stared at the portrait and spoke. At this time, she did not feel that Ning Cheng was lying to her. Ning Cheng didn't care whether others believed him or not. In any case, this Tsang Wei did exist, and he wasn't exaggerating at all. Striking Order laughed and continued to help Ning Cheng out of trouble. Since the Earth Origin bead is gone, and since everyone rarely gets together, why not trade something else? I'll go first 2 times stones. As for the things we trade, as long as it suits our eyes, it would be even better if you have a body-forging cultivation method. After saying that, Striking Order Heavenly Emperor took out 2 time stones. Moreover, these 2 time stones weren't small. Ning Cheng understood that Striking Order Heavenly Emperor truly wanted to help him out of trouble. Striking Order had always regarded time stones as a treasure. Even if it was an auction, he wouldn't casually take one out. Although he didn't know why Striking Order Heavenly Emperor had such a good attitude towards him, Ning Cheng still felt grateful for this favor. Apart from Ning Cheng, who didn't want the time stones, this was a treasure that contained the laws of time. However, none of the people here were ordinary people. As such, they wouldn't compete with each other like in an auction. Song Tsaiha also laughed when he saw this. He took out a jade box and placed it on the table before speaking. This is an Eternal Emperor Continuance pill. Unfortunately, I had some flaws when I refined it, resulting in the low quality. What I want is some Starry Sky Grade 9 spiritual grasses. The medicinal pill that Song Tsaiha took out immediately caused the rest of the cultivators to exclaim. If this Eternal Emperor Continuance pill was put up for auction, the entire auction house might end up in a fight. An Eternal Emperor Continuance pill was a medicinal pill that could help a life and death cultivator advance to the eternal realm. Even if it wasn't of high quality, it was still a rare treasure. Apart from Ning Cheng, everyone here was an eternal cultivator. Even so, this medicinal pill still attracted everyone's attention. Just think about it, who wouldn't want such a medicinal pill to help them cultivate an eternal level helper? Pill Emperor Tsaiha truly has a good hand and a good spirit. Heavenly Emperor Shen Mao praised. Although he wanted this medicinal pill very much, he knew that everyone here didn't lose out to him in terms of competitiveness. Compared to Heavenly Emperor Shen Mao, Spiritual Heaven Sect Master Qin Xingwen wanted this medicinal pill even more. Ning Cheng needed this Eternal Emperor Continuance pill the most. In fact, Ning Cheng didn't want this medicinal pill the most. Instead, he needed the Eternal Emperor Continuance pill. It's just that the medicinal pill that Song Tsaiha took out was of low quality. A low-quality medicinal pill would not only reduce one's chances of advancing to the eternal realm, but it could also affect one's future development. What he wanted was the Starry Sky Radish Grass. If he could obtain such a treasure, he could refine his own Eternal Emperor Continuance pill in the future. Many thanks, Dao Friend Tsaiha. Ning Cheng cupped his fists and thanked him. He knew that Song Tsaiha took out such a top-grade medicinal pill to show his support. Song Tsaiha was his senior, but Ning Cheng knew that he couldn't treat himself as a junior at this time. Otherwise, it would only lead to others looking down on him. Yi Jiofeng suddenly smiled. I can see that everyone has taken out some top-grade things. I'm just a poor man, so I really don't know what to do. By the way, does Sect Master Ning have anything to exchange for it? Ning Cheng didn't speak and took out 2 jade bottles. These 2 jade bottles contain a drop of Glimmer of Dawn Ice Essence and a bottle of Accordance Heavenly Pills. Hearing Ning Cheng's words, Yi Jiofeng even stood up in surprise. Even Striking Order Heavenly Emperor also stood up in surprise. Sect Master Ning, did you get this Glimmer of Dawn Ice Essence from the Time Wilderness? Striking Order Heavenly Emperor asked in shock. He knew that the Time Wilderness contained Glimmer of Dawn Ice Essence, but no one had ever obtained it. He didn't expect Ning Cheng to take out such a treasure. I want this thing. What does Sect Master Ning want? Yi Jiofeng didn't even care about her face. As for the Accordance Heavenly Pill, no one asked about it. Although the Accordance Heavenly Pill was precious, it was only relative to ordinary cultivators. For the few eternal level experts here, the Accordance Heavenly Pill was nothing. The rest of them even wondered why Ning Cheng would take out a low-level medicinal pill like the Accordance Heavenly Pill. Ning Cheng cupped his fists toward Striking Order Heavenly Emperor and said, Yes, Brother Striking Order. I obtained the Glimmer of Dawn Ice Essence from the Time Wilderness by luck. Today is the mysterious Yellow Sect's grand opening, and since I have limited good things on me, I decided to take them out. After that, Ning Cheng continued, I want to exchange this drop of Glimmer of Dawn Ice Essence and the Accordance Heavenly Pill for 2 things. The first is materials that can help my Nirvana flame evolve. The second is the Wind Thunder Apricot. Yi Jiufeng sat down and spoke with a calm tone. Sect Master Ning, your glimmer of dawn ice essence is indeed precious, but if you want to exchange it for these two things, I'm afraid it's still far from enough, right? Ning Qing didn't care about it. 9 Phoenix Heavenly Emperor, what I want is not a Wind Thunder Apricot, but a small branch of the Wind Thunder Apricot. Besides, this bottle of Accordance Heavenly Pills doesn't contain 1, but 50 of them, all of which are top-quality Accordance Heavenly Pills. What? Ning Cheng's words immediately caused the cultivators present to look at him in shock. 50 Accordance Heavenly Pills, all of them top quality, just what kind of concept was this? 1 or 2 Accordance Heavenly Pills weren't rare, but 50 Accordance Heavenly Pills, it wasn't rare at all. It was a real treasure. Even if a pill emperor could refine Accordance Heavenly Pills, they wouldn't have so many great heaven essence fruits. Additionally, a cultivator who could bring out 50 Accordance Heavenly Pills must have concocted them themselves. It was impossible for them to have bought them. It was simply impossible to buy them. Is Sect Master Ning also a pill emperor? Song Tsaiha asked with a blushing face. Ning Cheng cupped his fists. I'm indeed an alchemy master. I hope Dao Friend Song can give me some pointers in the future. Song Tsaiha's eyes showed some excitement. Can Sect Master Ning let me take a look at the Accordance Heavenly Pills? Naturally. Ning Cheng poured out an Accordance Heavenly Pill without hesitation and sent it to Song Tsaiha. Song Tsaiha put the medicinal pill in his palm and looked at it for a while before exclaiming, "Good pill. I can't refine this kind of medicinal pill." After saying this, Song Tsaiha stood up and returned the medicinal pill to Ning Cheng. He then bowed to Ning Cheng and said, Sect Master Ning, I'm a wanderer in the starry skies. I always thought that the medicinal pills I refined were top grade. But after seeing Brother Ning's medicinal pill today, I realized that I was just a frog in a well. This song has a presumptuous request. Ning Cheng had a good impression of Song Tsaiha. Therefore, when he heard Song Tsaiha's words, he smiled and said, Dao Friend Song, please speak your mind. As long as it's within my capabilities, I will not refuse. I want to stay here and ask Sect Master Ning for some advice on the Tao of alchemy. Song Tsaiha said with a slightly awkward tone. Ning Cheng froze for a moment before reacting. He didn't expect Song Tsaiha to want to seek refuge with him. Not to mention that Song Tsaiha was a starry sky grade 9 pill emperor, he was also a late-stage eternal powerhouse. With a person like Song Tsaiha seeking refuge, wouldn't the mysterious yellow sect immediately soar to become a first-class sect within the starry skies? Not to mention Ning Cheng, even the rest of the people felt stunned. Chuan Xinlo frowned slightly and was about to speak, but Ning Cheng stopped in front of him and said, My mysterious yellow sect has just been established, and we need a virtuous person like Dao Friend Song. If Dao Friend Song doesn't mind, can you be a deputy sect master of my mysterious yellow sect? What does Dao Friend Song think? Chapter 727. It didn't matter to Song Tsaiha whether or not he became the deputy sect master of the mysterious yellow sect. However, the meaning behind Ning Cheng's words was that he was willing to become close friends with him. Otherwise, how could he let him become the mysterious yellow sect's deputy sect master? Song Tsaiha couldn't have asked for more. Moreover, he had always been in awe of Ning Cheng. The thunder tribulation that Ning Cheng had just crossed was simply inhuman. From this, Ning Cheng felt sure that in the future, Ning Cheng's achievements would far surpass Chuan Xinlo and the others. If he stayed in the mysterious yellow sect and became the mysterious yellow sect's deputy sect master, not only would he have more contact with Ning Cheng, but he could also discuss the Tao of alchemy with Ning Cheng. I am extremely willing. Thank you for your kindness, sect master. From today onwards, I, Song Tsaiha, will be the deputy sect master of mysterious yellow sect. Song Tsaiha hurriedly responded. How many of the experts who could cultivate to the eternal realm were fools? Not to mention that Song Tsaiha was a rogue cultivator who had reached his current level by relying on his own ability. He could naturally peek into Chuan Xinlo and Yi Jiufeng's thoughts, but he had his own ideas. Ah, good. With Sect Mastered Song in my mysterious yellow sect, it will definitely take us to the next level. Ning Cheng spoke with joy. What was done could not be undone. Everyone stood up to congratulate Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng's cultivation was already unfathomable. Now, with the addition of the premier pill emperor Zhang Caihe, the future of the mysterious yellow sect would definitely be bright. Chuan Xinluo also laughed heartily. This is truly a joyous occasion. Striking Order Starry Sky will have 4 eternal-level Starry Sky Emperors, and I can foresee that Striking Order Starry Sky will soar again soon. If Striking Order Heavenly Emperor fell for Chuan Xinluo's schemes so easily, then he would not be Striking Order. Not to mention that he came here to make friends with Ning Cheng. Therefore, as soon as Chuan Xinluo finished speaking, he also spoke up with a smile. Indeed, although Jiangzhou Star will not belong to my Striking Order Starry Sky in the future, it is still not my Striking Order Starry Sky. However, with a brother like mysterious Yellow Sect's brother Ning, and with Kaihe's number 1 pill emperor, it would make it a lot easier for me, Striking Order, to ask for pills in the future. Chuan Xinluo wanted to say that Ning Cheng's guest was stronger than his master, which would alert Striking Order Heavenly Emperor. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor already knew that Ning Cheng had a brighter future than him. If he wanted to attack Ning Cheng, he wouldn't have waited until Zhang Caihe joined. Nor would he have proposed to give named Descendant Celestial River to Ning Cheng. Since that's the case, let's continue trading. I do have a purple light treasure eye, and I'm not the only one with a purple light treasure eye today. Great Emperor Wu Hong chuckled and changed the topic. Chuan Xinluo knew that his words wouldn't work, so he had no other choice. He had tried to win over Zhang Caihe for many years, but the other party had never joined Leveled Heart Emperor Mountain. He didn't expect that Ning Cheng would easily win him over. Moreover, it was Zhang Caihe who took the initiative to propose it. This was simply infuriating to death when compared to others. However, Ning Cheng had just started his debut. If he had started a few 100,000 years ago, then Grand Culmination Starry Sky would have nothing to do with Chuan Xinluo. Ning Cheng was pleasantly surprised in his heart and quickly asked, "Does Brother Wu Hong have the Purple Light Treasure Essence?" Purple Light Treasure Essence was one of the few materials that could allow the Nirvana flame to advance. It was extremely precious. After Ning Cheng's Celestial River Flame underwent Nirvana, he had been worried about not having enough materials to upgrade it. He never expected that Heavenly Emperor Wu Hong would have it. Furthermore, Great Emperor Wu Hong said that he wasn't the only one who had this today. Naturally, Heavenly Emperor Wu Hong raised his hand and took out a jade box before sending it to Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng opened the jade box, and a terrifying heat wave surged out. Sure enough, it contained the Purple Light Treasure Essence. Unfortunately, there was only one of it. A single Purple Light Treasure Essence could at most advance the Celestial River Flame to Nirvana Grade 2, which was still far from reaching the Starry Sky Flame. What does Brother Wu Hong need? Please speak. Ning Cheng excitedly put away the Purple Light Treasure Essence and spoke up. He wanted to ask who else had this thing. Wu Hong laughed. "Brother Ning, I feel like old friends with you at first sight. Plus, since it's your sect's inauguration ceremony today, I'll give you this Purple Light Treasure Essence as a gift." There were so many guests here, but none of them took the initiative to take out a gift. From this, it could be seen that although these people came to congratulate Ning Cheng on his sect's opening ceremony, they didn't really care about it. Ning Cheng cupped his fists and spoke with caution, "Many thanks, Brother Wu Hong. Then I won't be polite." Ning Cheng didn't say anything about thanking him. Wu Hong obviously wanted to make friends with him. If he immediately returned the gift after receiving it, then Wu Hong would definitely have some other thoughts. But now that he received the gift, if he didn't say anything, he could make friends with a Starry Sky Heavenly Emperor. Sure enough, when Wu Hong saw Ning Cheng put away the thing and didn't say anything about the transaction, he immediately spoke up with joy, "Mysterious Yellow Sect's opening ceremony, this is how it should be." Shen Mao also stood up and spoke with cupped fists with a bitter smile. "Although I also have 2 Purple Light Treasure Essences, I obtained a flame, and the Purple Light Treasure Essence has long since been used up. Otherwise, I would have taken it out and given it to Sect Master Ning." Ning Cheng felt a bit of pity. He understood that Wu Hong and Shen Mao must have gone to the same place to obtain this thing. He didn't continue to ask about it. He would ask Heavenly Emperor Wu Hong alone later. Yi Jiufeng saw that Shen Mao and Qin Xingwen had a neutral attitude, while striking order Heavenly Emperor and Wu Hong intended to make friends with Ning Qing, while Tsang Tsaiha became the mysterious Yellow Sect's deputy sect master. She understood that her provocation had failed. Even if she and Chuan Xinluo worked together, they wouldn't be able to gain any advantage in this place. Although Yi Jiofeng had a strong personality, she wasn't an idiot. The mysterious Yellow Sect's two pill emperors, since he couldn't use force, then he might as well make friends with them. Congratulations to Dao Friend Song for becoming the deputy sect master of the mysterious Yellow Sect. Congratulations to Sect Master Ning for obtaining the Purple Light Treasure Essence. If Sect Master Ning wants the branch of the Wind Thunder Apricot Tree, it's not impossible. I know that when Sect Master Ning took away the Earth Origin Bead, he also picked 2 Wind Thunder Apricot Fruits. If Sect Master Ning can give me the 2 Wind Thunder Apricot Fruits, as well as the Glimmer of Dawn Ice Essence and a bottle of Accordance Heavenly Pills, I would also be willing to send a branch of the Wind Thunder Apricot Tree to Sect Master Ning. Yi Jiofeng spoke with a smile, showing a friendly attitude. Ning Cheng's heart moved. He really did have such an idea. With the twin wings of the heavenly clouds undergoing nirvana, it meant that his strength had grown a lot stronger. However, none of these things were of any use to him. Despite feeling moved in his heart, Ning Cheng still said calmly, "Great Emperor Nine Phoenix, there's a small problem with what you said just now. I'm not asking you to give me a branch of the Wind Thunder Apricot Tree, but in exchange. If Great Emperor Nine Phoenix doesn't want my things, then it's a gift." Yi Jiofeng giggled. Sect Master Ning is a big man, so why bother with a little woman like me? Since Sect Master Ning said that it's not a gift, then it's not a gift. Ning Cheng remained unmoved. Yi Jiofeng's methods were no worse than Chuan Xinluo's. If this woman was also a little woman, then it would be difficult to find many big women in the universe. He didn't point it out to Yi Jiofeng, but asked with some doubts, "Great Emperor Nine Phoenix, as far as I know, that Wind Thunder Apricot Tree had a total of 8 fruits. I took 2, so there should be 6 left. Why does Great Emperor Nine Phoenix want these 2 fruits from me? I feel that the 8 fruits are like siblings. Suddenly losing 2 would make me feel a little regretful in my heart." Yi Jiofeng spoke with a slight grievance. Tsang Tsaiha suddenly asked, "Sect Master, did you pick 2 fruits, 1 light red and 1 cyan purple?" After Yi Jiofeng heard Tsang Tsaiha's words, her expression suddenly changed. Tsang Tsaiha acted as if he didn't see Yi Jiofeng's expression and continued, "There are 8 fruits in the Wind Thunder Apricot Tree. That is to say, there are 7 light red wind apricots and 1 cyan purple thunder apricot. If the Wind Thunder Apricot Tree grows, it will bear 7 light red wind apricots every year. The premise is that the cyan purple thunder apricot can't be picked. Once the cyan purple thunder apricot is picked, the Wind Thunder Apricot Tree will no longer bear any fruit. Sect Master picking the cyan purple thunder apricot is equivalent to cutting off the possibility of the Wind Thunder Apricot Tree continuing to bear fruit. This Wind Thunder Apricot Tree is equivalent to existing in name only. Only the Wind Thunder Apricot Tree's branches still have some use, but it can no longer produce Wind Thunder apricots. The Wind Thunder Apricot Tree has many uses and can be used to refine many wind-attributed medicinal pills to help wind-attributed cultivators cultivate. Moreover, if you plant the Wind Thunder Apricot Tree and the Thunder Apricot Tree together, as long as you have the Earth Origin, it will grow into a new Wind Thunder Apricot Tree. The more Yi Jiofeng listened, the uglier her face became. However, Ning Qing grew more and more surprised. He didn't expect that one of the 2 fruits he took away would turn out to be a Thunder Apricot. No wonder Yi Jiofeng stared at his 2 fruits. Ning Cheng felt happy in his heart, but his face showed a disappointed expression. "Oh, it's a pity. I actually gave the 2 Wind Thunder apricots to my companion beast to eat, but it did increase the speed of my companion beast by a lot. Do you still have the almonds?" Yi Jiofeng didn't care about anything else. Ning Cheng shook his head. "That fellow ate all the dregs. Besides, even if I had the almonds, it wouldn't have helped me. I don't even have the Earth Origin bead anymore." "Oh, that's right. Since Nine Phoenix Heavenly Emperor can raise the Wind Thunder Apricot Tree, does he have the Earth Origin?" Yi Jiofeng's tone turned cold. "No, my Wind Thunder Apricot Tree is about to wither. Since sect Master Ning doesn't have the almonds, then let's forget about this deal. Ning Cheng's eyes flashed with disappointment as he put away the glimmer of Dawn Ice Essence and the Accordance Heavenly Pill. He had achieved his goal. Chuan Xinluo and Yi Jiufeng no longer had the mood to stay here. After taking out some simple things for the transaction, they immediately said their goodbyes. After Zhang Caihe joined the mysterious Yellow Sect, Qin Xingwen and Tang Yitong didn't speak much. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor's 2-time stones ended up being traded away by Shen Mao, while Chuan Xinluo exchanged Zhang Caihe's medicinal pills for 2 Starry Sky Rank 9 spiritual grasses. Ning Cheng understood that Zhang Caihe deliberately gave face to Chuan Xinluo. Otherwise, 2 Starry Sky Rank 9 spiritual grasses wouldn't have been enough to exchange for an Eternal Emperor Continuance pill. Before Wu Hong left, he left Ning Cheng with a jade strip. Ning Cheng didn't even need to scan it to know what this jade strip contained. It most likely contained the location where the purple light treasure essence appeared. Although Tang Yitong left, Striking Order Heavenly Emperor didn't. Zhang Caihe knew that Ning Cheng and Striking Order had something to discuss, so he stood up and said, "Sect Master, I'll go to my residence and arrange it. You and Brother Striking Order can talk." Ning Cheng showed a smile. "Caihe, you're not an outsider. Let's sit down and talk." Zhang Caihe waved his hand. "Sect Master doesn't need to be polite with me. If you need anything, just tell me. I'm a layman when it comes to managing sections." After Zhang Caihe left, Striking Order spoke up with a straight face. "Sect Master Ning, today, Chuan Xinluo kept provoking the relationship between you and me. I think Brother Ning must have noticed it." Chapter 728. Chuan Xinluo must have known that I took the Earth Origin Bead and wanted to stir up everyone's hatred against me. I took away Jiangzhou Star without Brother Striking Order's consent. If it were an ordinary Heavenly Emperor, I'm afraid that they would have already fallen out with me. Since Brother Striking Order is so generous, I, Ning Cheng, owe Brother Striking Order a big favor." Ning Cheng spoke with sincerity. For ordinary Starry Sky Emperors, if someone took away a planet in their territory, they would definitely fall out with each other. Ning Cheng felt grateful for Striking Order's attitude. If Striking Order had used force, he wouldn't have cared. However, Striking Order Heavenly Emperor's open-minded attitude made him feel guilty. Striking Order spoke up with a straight face. "Brother Ning, I really want to give you named Descendant Celestial River." Ning Cheng smiled. "Brother Striking Order, Jiangzhou Star is more than enough for me. You also know that I have no interest in managing a celestial river. If I have the time, I might as well use it for cultivation." Striking Order shook his head. "Brother Ning, you are a Pill Emperor, and the Deputy Sect Master is the premier Pill King under the starry sky. Jiangzhou Star will have many heaven-seated powerhouses in the future, and a celestial river is not much for you. You don't have to manage it, you can just hand it over to the sect's people. A big sect can't survive on a single planet." Ning Cheng felt moved in his heart. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor had a point. He was a Pill Emperor and had a lot of Accordance Heavenly Pills. In the future, the mysterious Yellow Sect would definitely have many heaven-seated powerhouses. Owning a celestial river naturally had much more potential than owning a planet. "Many thanks, Brother Striking Order. If Brother Striking Order needs any help from this Ning, I will definitely do my best." Ning Cheng stood up and thanked him. He knew that although Striking Order Heavenly Emperor was optimistic about making friends with him, for him to take out such heavy benefits meant that he definitely had something in mind. Seeing Ning Cheng so understanding, Striking Order Heavenly Emperor felt happy and no longer concealed it. "Brother Ning, Striking Order Starry Sky's strength is the worst in the entire Grand Culmination Starry Sky. As Brother Ning can see, that endless Skydock's Dock Master doesn't even put me in his eyes." Ning Cheng nodded to show that he understood. It stood to reason that Striking Order Heavenly Emperor had a higher status than Gua Sangon. In fact, Gua Sangon didn't even put Striking Order Heavenly Emperor in his eyes. If Chuan Xinluo didn't support him, Ning Cheng would never believe it. "I believe that Brother Ning should be able to guess that the Endless Void Docks has the support of Leveled Heart Emperor Mountain. Therefore, Brother Ning must be careful when you visit the endless void docks in the future. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor cautiously spoke. I know. Even if Striking Order Heavenly Emperor hadn't mentioned it, Ning Cheng would have to wait until he advanced to the Eternal Realm before heading to the endless void docks. However, if Gua Sangon dared to come to stately River Star, then don't blame him for being impolite. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor gave out a sigh and spoke. My Striking Order Starry Skies is already lacking in resources, and the only place that is famous is the Time Wilderness. However, the Time Wilderness remained open for a long time, and there was also a cultivation restriction. Although others coveted it, they could only secretly send people to participate in it, and would not openly enter the Time Wilderness. But it's different now. What's going on? Ning Cheng asked in surprise. Striking Order spoke up with a hateful tone. I don't know which bastard started the rumor that the Temple of Time is in the Time Wilderness, and that the 3 perpetual moon time keys have already appeared, which means that the Temple of Time is about to open. What kind of place was the Temple of Time? That's the place where the perpetual moon Holy Emperor hid his treasures, a place where one could comprehend the laws of time. Who wouldn't covet such a place? The Temple of Time is in the Time Wilderness? Ning Cheng asked in surprise. He had the jade strip from Duangan Tai, but he didn't try to unlock the restrictions. Even if he could unlock it, he would need Duangan Tai's cooperation to open the Temple of Time. It would be useless for him to go alone. Now that he heard Striking Order's words, he felt a little strange. Ning Cheng quickly understood that Duangan Tai must have spread this rumor. Moreover, it wasn't just a rumor, but the truth. Duangan Tai released this rumor because he felt a little dissatisfied with him for not contacting him for a long time. Therefore, he decided to reveal the true location of the Temple of Time to remind Ning Cheng to go to the Temple of Time as soon as possible. Striking Order nodded. That's indeed the rumor. Brother Striking Order, are you worried that Chuan Xinlo would take the Temple of Time into the Grand Culmination Starry Skies and no longer belong to Striking Order Starry Skies? Ning Cheng asked. Striking Order spoke with certainty. It's a sure thing. With Chuan Xinlo's personality, how could he let me control the Temple of Time? He wouldn't come forward on his own, but would find someone else to provoke me. For example, the Endless Void Docks Dock Master, or other eternal-level powerhouses. Once I get provoked, or even killed, the Starry Sky Emperor of Striking Order Starry Sky would change hands. Ning Cheng remained silent. He believed that Striking Order Heavenly Emperor's speculation was correct, and it was well-founded. In fact, Chuan Xinlo was such a person. Striking Order's tone turned even more uncomfortable. That's not the real threat to me. The real threat to my Striking Order Starry Sky is another rumor. 4 heavens and 3 halls are all in my Striking Order Starry Sky. 4 heavens and 3 halls? Yes. 3 of the most mysterious halls in the 4 grand starry skies. These 3 halls are the Temple of Time, the Guardian Temple, and the Ancient Shadow Temple. Ning Cheng interrupted Striking Order's words. Ancient Shadow Temple? Striking Order nodded. Yes, it's the Ancient Shadow Temple. You should already know about it. The rumor is true. The Ancient Shadow Temple has already appeared outside Covered Snow City, which means that the Guardian Temple will come out sooner or later. Chuan Xinlo wants me to give in to him and send me out of Striking Order Starry Sky. He should have thought of the fact that all 3 halls are in Striking Order Starry Sky. Striking Order Starry Sky is not an ordinary starry sky. Most likely, he wants to take control of Striking Order Starry Sky and slowly explore its secrets. He didn't expect that I would choose to cooperate with you instead of compromising. That's why he didn't mention the Ancient Shadow Temple today. Ning Cheng took in a deep breath. He finally understood why Striking Order Heavenly Emperor acted so magnanimously. However, Ning Cheng didn't care about it. If it were him, with such a huge difference in strength, he would definitely try to pull in an ally. Brother Striking Order, rest assured. No matter how strong Chuan Xinlo is, he doesn't have the ability to forcibly drive you and me away. Currently, Striking Order Starry Sky, including my named descendant Celestial River, has 4 Starry Sky Emperors. Why would we fear him? Ning Cheng spoke without hesitation. Striking Order spoke up with joy. Good, I've been waiting for Brother Ning to say those words. I'm afraid that Chuan Xinlo would ally with Yi Jiufeng. If so, we would be at a disadvantage. Fortunately, Song Tsaiha and Deputy Sect Master have already become our people. It's a great joy. Ning Qing showed a slight smile. Chuan Xinlo wouldn't dare to ally with Yi Jiufeng. He's afraid that we would find the Grand Demon Heaven Starry Sky and the Grand Devil Heaven Starry Sky. The matters of Grand Culmination Starry Sky must be resolved within Grand Culmination Starry Sky. Thanks to Brother Striking Order, my named Descendant Celestial River will be renamed as Mysterious Yellow Celestial River from now on. Mysterious Yellow Celestial River, Mysterious Yellow Sect, good. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor felt happy to have won over such a powerful ally like Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng took out a jade strip and gave it to Striking Order Heavenly Emperor before saying, Brother Striking Order, this is my body forging cultivation method. Since I accepted a celestial river from Brother Striking Order, I will give this body forging cultivation method to Brother Striking Order. In the future, when I enter the ancient Shadow Temple, I will definitely invite Brother Striking Order to come with me. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor lacked a body forging cultivation method, so Ning Cheng decided to send it over. Moreover, Ning Cheng said that he could enter the ancient Shadow Temple, which made him feel happy. He put away Ning Cheng's body forging cultivation method and took out several time stones before handing them to Ning Cheng. Brother Ning, these time stones are for you. In case the Temple of Time opens in the future, it would be good for you to gain some superficial understanding of the laws of time. Ning Cheng already had a lot of time stones on him, so he didn't need these time stones at all. Just as he was about to decline, his eyes suddenly narrowed and he frowned at one of the time stones. Just as Striking Order Heavenly Emperor felt puzzled, Ning Cheng took out a Longan-sized time stone from Striking Order Heavenly Emperor's time stones and looked at it for a long time before asking, Brother Striking Order, who gave you this time stone? Ning Cheng recognized this time stone as soon as he saw it. He deliberately held this time stone in his hand and felt it for a moment before confirming it. Although most of the time stones were dark gray in color, the color of each time stone was slightly different. When Ning Cheng saw this time stone, he felt the same as the first time stone that Shen Qinyu had picked up. When he picked up this time stone, he felt even more sure of it. This time stone was the first time stone that Shen Qinyu had picked up. Logically speaking, Shen Qinyu's time stone should not have been handed over to Striking Order Heavenly Emperor. So why did it end up in the hands of Striking Order Heavenly Emperor? Striking Order did not want to have even half a gap with Ning Cheng at this time. Therefore, on seeing Ning Cheng's serious tone, he immediately explained, this was handed in by a female cultivator named Shen Qinyu. After arriving at Culmination Heaven, she specifically came to find me. She then handed over 10 time stones, saying that she wanted to enter the time wilderness again. She said that the most important person to her was in the time wilderness, and she wanted to go in and look for him. But isn't the time wilderness closed? Even if she wanted to go in, wouldn't she have to wait until the next time it opens? Ning Cheng asked in confusion. Shen Qinyu had already come out, so why did she want to go in? Striking Order was a shrewd person, so how could he not understand the relationship between Ning Cheng and Shen Qinyu? He quickly spoke up, Shen Qinyu coming out with 10 time stones really shocked me. You have to know that even Sun Fei, the first person to enter the time wilderness, only managed to obtain 4. Because she said that she was from Culmination Starlands Yu Clan's corner city, I forgave her once and even sent her into the time wilderness again. This was also Striking Order's sorrow. Yu Clan's corner city was not a major faction. However, he still felt some fear because Yu Clan's corner city was located in Culmination Starland. Brother Striking Order, can you let people enter the time wilderness again? Ning Cheng felt truly shocked. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor spoke up with regret, I only have 10 transfer talismans which can allow me to enter the time wilderness when it closes. Once these 10 transfer talismans are used up, even I would have no other way. Ning Cheng cupped his fists and spoke, Brother Striking Order, I want to enter the time wilderness now. Shen Qinyu went in to look for me, so I can't just give up. Brother Ning, Striking Order hesitated for a moment before speaking. Once you go in, you can never come out. Chapter 729. Moreover, with your cultivation, you might end up teleporting out immediately after entering. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor took out 2 transfer jade talismans and handed them to Ning Cheng. These 2 jade talismans are for you. For me, it doesn't matter if I have them or not. Ning Cheng took the jade talismans and thanked Striking Order. Many thanks, Brother Striking Order. In any case, Brother Striking Order and I will be brothers on the same front in the future. As for these time stones, I only need this one. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor put away the rest of the time stones and laughed. This was what he wanted to hear. Brother Ning, I also want to say the same thing. As long as Brother Ning needs my help, this Striking Order will not hesitate for even half a moment. Brother Ning, I obtained this transfer talisman in the Time Wilderness. You can enter the Time Wilderness after activating it. If Brother Ning doesn't get teleported out, remember not to go to some dangerous places. This transfer talisman will shatter within a year, and after shattering it will allow you to leave the Time Wilderness. But the truth is that no one has ever come out of the Time Wilderness using this transfer talisman. Therefore, I suspect that there is no way to come out after entering the Time Wilderness with this transfer talisman. Brother Ning, it's best to find someone else to go in. You don't have to make a trip yourself. Although he told Ning Cheng not to go in by himself, Striking Order believed that Ning Cheng wouldn't go in by himself. Although he told Ning Cheng not to go to dangerous places, he just wanted Ning Cheng to warn the people who entered the Time Wilderness. Cultivating to this level, no one would be stupid enough to take such a risk. Therefore, he didn't worry about Ning Cheng falling. Giving Ning Cheng 2 transfer talismans was also a way to build a good relationship with Ning Cheng and let Ning Cheng send 2 people in. I understand. Ning Cheng thanked him again. Striking Order felt satisfied and bid farewell to Ning Cheng. His purpose of coming here had basically been achieved. Even if Xuan Xinluo wanted to make a move on him, he would have to weigh the pros and cons when facing Striking Order's Starry Skies 4 Eternal Powerhouses and 2 Pill Emperors. After Striking Order Heavenly Emperor left, Ning Cheng handed over the mysterious Yellow Sect to Zhang Caihe and let Gong Xiaozhu take over named Descendant Celestial River. He renamed named Descendant Celestial River to Mysterious Yellow Celestial River and made him the Mysterious Yellow Celestial River King. Zhang Caihe focused on alchemy and wasn't enthusiastic about management. Ning Cheng didn't expect him to manage Jiangzhou Star. Instead, he asked him to stay in the Mysterious Yellow Sect because his sister Rulin and the others were all in seclusion in the Mysterious Yellow Sect. With an eternal level Pill Emperor like Zhang Caihe looking after them, there would be no problem at all. Just in case, Ning Cheng also arranged an emergency teleportation array in the place where Rulin and the others went into seclusion. Ning Cheng believed that he would not need to use this transmission array. Ning Cheng left Jiangzhou Star in charge of Bei Junyi. At the same time, he told him that if Warren and the others came over, he must settle them down. Warren was a good person, and Ning Cheng hoped that he could stay in Stately River Star to help him in the future. After explaining everything, Ning Cheng left Stately River Star and activated the Transfer Jade Talisman. Striking Order didn't understand Ning Cheng. Therefore, he thought that Ning Cheng wouldn't personally go to the Time Wilderness. However, Ning Cheng chose to go. The Transfer Jade Talisman turned into a white light, which instantly sent Ning Cheng away. Ning Cheng had already made preparations. Once the Time Wilderness pushed them out, he would let his younger sister Ruolan take his mysterious yellow bead inside. As long as he was not pushed out for half a breath, he would have the opportunity to enter the mysterious yellow bead, and then find a way to enter the Sea of Twilight. What made Ning Cheng surprised was that after he landed on the ground, where was there even the slightest bit of pushing force? In other words, this Time Wilderness was the same as the last time he entered it. Apart from the faint flow of time aura, there was nothing abnormal at all, let alone being teleported out. Not waiting for Ning Cheng to breathe a sigh of relief, a powerful suppression descended upon him. Ning Cheng was surprised in his heart and immediately wanted to enter the mysterious yellow bead. However, he quickly understood that this suppression was not to teleport him out, but to suppress his cultivation. His life and death cultivation was directly suppressed to the peak of star condensation realm. Sure enough, there were still some restrictions in this place. For Ning Cheng, the suppression on his cultivation was countless times better than teleporting out. Back then, he was still far from reaching the great circle of celestial gatherer realm, yet he could cross the Sea of Twilight. Now that he had a deeper understanding of the laws of time, crossing the Sea of Twilight would not be a problem. Ning Cheng did not care about the situation around him and immediately headed towards the Sea of Twilight. Since Shen Qinyu said that she wanted to find him, it meant that she must have gone to the Sea of Twilight. After so many years, Ning Cheng was worried that something bad might have happened to her. Although Shen Qinyu had entered on her own, Ning Cheng could not ignore it. He simply could not do such a thing. Knowing that someone had risked their life to save him, he still pretended not to know anything. Or rather, he used the excuse that he could not get in. Coming to the Sea of Twilight for the second time, Ning Cheng still saw the same beautiful Sea of Twilight. Rays of twilight formed an ocean-like beauty. However, Ning Cheng knew that this beauty was just on the surface. Once he entered the Sea of Twilight, the time wheel would devour him and destroy him at any time. Inside the time wheel, time flew by in a flash. There was not a single drop of water in this place, and when he died, he would turn into a piece of bark. Ning Cheng did not stop and stepped into the Sea of Twilight. The endless vicissitudes of time instantly pressed down on him, causing him to fall into a trance. Although his cultivation was suppressed to the celestial gatherer realm, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness could still extend further than before. His spiritual consciousness could now cover a radius of nearly 100 miles. Ning Cheng only walked for half a day before flying up. He knew that if he wanted to teleport to the deepest part of the Sea of Twilight, he had to fly up from this place. Shen Qinyu had told him about it. Sure enough, the moment Ning Cheng flew up, a powerful tearing force and time blade lights slammed into his body. A moment later, a time maelstrom rolled over and took Ning Cheng away. With a ripping sound, Ning Cheng's robes tore apart, revealing dozens of tears. Ning Cheng's body, however, did not suffer even the slightest damage. Although his cultivation had been suppressed, his powerful corporeal body could not be suppressed in this place. When the powerful maelstrom pulled Ning Cheng underground again, his spiritual consciousness's range had been suppressed from 100 miles to a few miles. Ning Cheng understood that the time maelstrom had taken him to the deepest part of the Sea of Twilight. This was the place where he and Shen Qinyu had traveled for several years. Standing here alone once again, Ning Cheng felt a little absent-minded. The last time, he had come here by accident. But this time, he had come here intentionally. Thinking about it now, he realized that even Qianghua and Luofei had never held hands with him and walked for several months, or even carried him for such a long time. It was also here that he saw Shen Qinyu's face for the first time. It was a breathtaking beauty. Even Ning Cheng had to admit that Shen Qinyu was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. However, he only had Luofei and Qianghua in his heart. When he looked at Shen Qinyu's face, he couldn't help but think of Luofei and Qianghua. As time flowed by, Ning Cheng quickly felt the life within the passage of time. Once again, he fell into an epiphany. Time never stopped flowing by Ning Cheng's side, but it could no longer take away Ning Cheng's life. Once, he had an epiphany while carrying Shen Qinyu on his back, causing his hair to turn white. Now, he once again experienced an epiphany in the Sea of Twilight, but his life was growing stronger and more solid. Soon, Ning Cheng started running, and streams of time light started to gather around him, forming circles after circles of law halos. Ning Cheng's understanding of the laws of time was no longer limited to the superficial sunset's twilight. He vaguely felt that he was about to grasp a more elusive corner of the laws of time. However, that corner was always a little bit away from him. Boom! A gorgeous sunset glow woke Ning Cheng up from his epiphany. Ning Cheng looked up at the beautiful sunset in the distance and gave out a sigh. In the end, he couldn't grasp that little bit of distance. Just a little bit more, and he could have truly grasped a corner of the laws of time. That little bit felt like a huge chasm that he couldn't cross. Ning Cheng quickly put aside these feelings of loss. He didn't come here to understand the laws of time. He came here to find Shen Qinyu. With his mood suddenly lightened, Ning Cheng gave out a long roar and rushed into the sunset glow. The moment Ning Cheng passed through the sunset glow, Ning Cheng's heart suddenly trembled. At this moment, he suddenly understood that he had finally grasped a trace of the laws of time. Even after such a long epiphany, he still couldn't grasp a corner of the laws of time. However, when he completely let go of it, he unexpectedly grasped a corner of the laws of time. A chill swept over him, but Ning Cheng didn't feel it at all. He only felt a fiery heat in his heart, a kind of wildness. What he grasped was a form. That's right, it was a tangible form. Everything had a tangible form. Ning Cheng remembered the time when he comprehended returning to one. Light is born from the dark, morality is born from formlessness, spirit is born from Tao, form is born from essence, and all things are born from form. When he understood it, time also had a tangible form. He even understood why time flies like an arrow, the sun and the moon shuttles. As long as one could grasp the arrow of time, one could stop the speed of the arrow and slow it down. When one's understanding of it reached a certain level, one could even grasp the arrow in one's hand and make it stop. Even one day, it's not impossible for you to make this arrow of time shoot backwards. When one mastered all the laws, one could even stop the sun and the moon. This was a peerless spirit technique. Ning Cheng felt something in his heart and suddenly raised his hand to grab it. The surroundings suddenly stagnated, and everything came to a complete standstill. This wasn't an illusion created by sunset's twilight, but a real standstill. This was a genuine law of time-related spirit technique. Feeling a sense of weakness, Ning Cheng didn't stop and waved his hand again. Poof! Spitting out a mouthful of blood, Ning Cheng fell to the ground. He quickly took out a medicinal pill and swallowed it before slowly breathing in. His strength was still too low. Even if he grasped a corner of the laws of time and comprehended a superficial layer of it, he still couldn't stop time for a long time. It was still unable to stop time for any longer, let alone rewinding time, not even for a split second. Ning Cheng swallowed a medicinal pill and waited for his injuries to slowly calm down before standing up again. He didn't feel frustrated. He hadn't learned to walk yet, but he already wanted to run. It was a kind of impatience. Just like before, when he had an epiphany for a long time and couldn't grasp a corner of the laws of time, he simply put it down. Instead, when he passed through the sunset glow, he comprehended the real laws of time. Tao was a natural process. Man follows the earth follows the heaven follows the Tao, and the Tao follows nature. Deliberately would not let him make greater progress. He had been too deliberate just now. Chapter 730. The Sixth Ice Wall. When I saw the first time Stone, I felt so excited. Maybe I would have never been able to see him by my side. He gave me the first time Stone, which made me feel very happy. However, I ended up losing the most beautiful thing in my life. If I could do it all over again, I would not have taken the time Stone. I would have stood by his side, even for a moment. If there was an afterlife, I would have told him about it. I would have told him about the wanderer who held me for months, carried me on his back for years, and saved me with his life. My name is Yu Qing, and I come from Culmination Starland's Yu Clan's corner city. My name is a homonym of Shun Qingyu's name. Maybe I also have something to be proud of. Others would accompany me until the seas run dry and the rocks crumble. But in the sea of twilight, I accompanied him until the end of my life. The Second Ice Wall. When he asked me why there was no thunder tribulation in the celestial Shatterer realm, I no longer guarded against him. Compared to his hardships, it was as if I was soaking in honey while cultivating. Unexpectedly, there was still a cultivator who did not know that there was no thunder tribulation in the celestial Shatterer realm. In the distance, a time wheel streaked across, sweeping the originally flat ice crystal plane even smoother. In this place, any protruding object would be swept away by the time wheel. I will never forget the scene of standing side by side with him at the edge of the dawn, watching the distant sunset. Perhaps that was the happiest day of my life. We passed through the dusk and stood above the dawn, but that happiness no longer existed. The 10th Ice Wall, it was cold and contained nothing. Only now did I understand that he had deliberately left that time stone for me. Even the time stones that I picked up later were all left for me by him. He is a wanderer who I do not understand. He does not have the greed of a starry sky cultivator. Instead, he has a heart of his own. He saved me and never asked for anything else. Even if I were alive, I would never meet such a person again. Ning Qing gave out a sigh. He really could not understand what Shen Qinyu was thinking to come back here to find him. It was simply an unreasonable thing. Did he and Shen Qinyu know each other? Ning Qing suddenly frowned. He suddenly thought that he and Shen Qinyu were very familiar with each other. I hated myself for not being able to see through him when he said, "Between heaven and earth, life is like a white colt passing by, it's all in a blink of an eye." When I finally saw through him, he was already gone. A short life was really like a white steed passing by. If you missed it, then you missed it. It would never come back. At that moment, I felt a sense of pity. No, it should be something that was hard to describe. My nose even felt a little sour. I had never thought that I would have such tender feelings. Perhaps when I let him see my face, I planted a seed in him. Ning Qing stopped in front of the first ice wall and spoke. I don't think I would be able to climb it. I never thought that I would be able to walk this far, but I was just a little bit away from it. Unfortunately, that little bit was still too far away. But I don't regret it. If I could do it again, I would still come back. Otherwise, my heart would never be at peace. Just as he was about to move on, his spiritual consciousness swept out and found some words on the ice wall. Ning Qing immediately had a bad premonition and immediately flew down into the ice valley. I regretted that I had started the epiphany while on his back. If I had not started the epiphany, I would have continued to feel that kind of spaciousness and peace of mind. In order to understand the laws of time, I had lost my most precious thing. If I could do it again, I would not try to comprehend it during his epiphany. I would rather be a simple woman and let him carry me again. The third ice wall. He did not know that we could not fly in the Sea of Twilight. As a result, the time whirlpool sucked us into the depths of the Sea of Twilight. I do not blame him. He pulled me along with him for a few months. If not for him, I would have died in the Sea of Twilight. Although he encouraged me again and again, I really could not walk anymore. I let him see my face, and I even wanted him to stay with me to spend the last few years of my life with me. However, he thought of another person. I think that person should be a very important person to him. Seeing the beautiful morning glow in the distance, Ning Qing felt a little worried. He feared that Shen Qinyu would not be able to reach this place. Although Shen Qinyu had come here with him once, it was all because of him. If he were not there, could Shen Qinyu have an epiphany in the depths of the Sea of Twilight and then pass through the dusk? The seventh ice wall. The first time I came here, I felt very cold. It was him who carried me in, which made me feel very at ease. This time, when I came to the ice crystal forest again, I still felt very cold. However, I no longer have that warm and broad shoulder to carry me to help me block the cold. Even if he did not speak much to Shen Qinyu, he had held Shen Qinyu's hand and walked through the Sea of Twilight for a few months, and then carried Shen Qinyu for a few years. He could not be any clearer about Shen Qinyu's aura. Even the touch of every part of her body, every inch of her appearance, even her breathing, he was very familiar with it. This kind of cold, for the current him, even if he did not operate his cultivation method, could not hurt him at all. However, if Shen Qinyu came here, she would die without a doubt. No, Ning Qing, who had just woken up from the panic, felt that something was wrong with the 10th ice wall. Sure enough, he saw a concealment array disc. Putting away the concealment array disc, a small space appeared in front of him. Ning Qing felt his heart tremble. He had never experienced such a feeling before. It felt like a huge ice stone stirring in the depths of his heart, making him feel depressed and sad. It felt as if the softest part of his heart had frozen to pieces. Ning Qing looked back at the endless plain of ice crystals. He had once brought Shen Qinyu through this plain of ice crystals. The 9th ice wall. I finally can't hold on anymore. This place is very cold, and I am also very cold. I have to go. I can't die together with him after all. Fortunately, I finally reached the place closest to him. Maybe I can feel a bit more at ease. Ning Cheng took in a deep breath and swept out with his spiritual consciousness, only to find an ice wall. He breathed a sigh of relief and did not see Shen Qinyu. In this kind of cold place, if Shen Qinyu fell into it, she would definitely die. Maybe I will die soon. Since I can reach this place, I should be the closest to him. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit away. If I could, I would rather go a little further, then jump into that canyon and die together with him. The fourth ice wall. That day, I thought I was dead. When I opened my eyes, I found myself on his back. He did not give up on me. Even if I was a burden, he still carried me on his back and ran through the sea of twilight. Those shoulders were really broad, and I had a longing in my heart. If I could lean on those shoulders again, I would really feel satisfied. His gaze shifted to the simple ice sculpture. He could only see the outline of the ice sculpture, which vaguely depicted his appearance as wanderer. Ning Cheng quickly passed through the plain of ice crystals and arrived at the even colder ice crystal forest. The bone-chilling cold pressed down on him, causing Ning Cheng's heart to sink. I told him that I'm sorry, but you will have to walk alone in the future. However, I was actually thinking about who the woman he thought of when he looked at me was. If this had happened before, I would not have believed it at all. I vaguely remember his words. It seems that if we don't go, there will be no hope. But if we continue, maybe we can get out of this place one day. Being with him, it seems that there will always be hope. But today, I am the only one here. After entering the ice crystal forest for a few dozen feet, a strong sense of sadness overwhelmed him, causing Ning Cheng to subconsciously stop. He swept out with his divine sense and soon saw a collapsed ice valley a few dozen meters away from him. The mask on Yu Qing's face had long since disappeared. She wore a beautiful cyan robe and leaned against an ice sculpture. Her unparalleled beautiful face was pale. Digging those ice steps is too difficult. It's time to get out of the valley, but I am still far away from the bottom. I have to go out and give the time stones to them. I don't like to owe others, even if it's my family. After giving the time stones, I chose to come back here again. I feel calm in my heart. Even if I fall, my heart has already fallen here. I have no way to do things that have nothing to do with this. There is no other way. Nothing, no one, can stop my impulses. Rows of clear and graceful handwriting appeared in front of his eyes. The familiar aura made Ning Cheng 100% sure that this was carved by Shen Qinyu. The fifth ice wall. Today, I crossed the sea of twilight again. I just wanted to find him. When I first came in, I didn't think much about it. I just wanted to find him. I didn't even think about what would happen after I found him. After coming here, I realized that without him, I would never be able to live happily again. Yu Qing, where did Yu Qing go? Ning Cheng felt an impulse in his heart. He wanted to use all his essence, blood and lifespan to perform a time reincarnation, returning time to the time before Yu Qing entered this place. He wanted to find Yu Qing on the way to Culmination Starland and tell her everything. He found that he couldn't bear this kind of emotion at all. He just did what he thought he should do. I'm sorry. Ning Cheng walked forward with blurred eyes and carefully picked up Yu Qing. I always thought of myself as a rational person, but at that moment, I had the urge to rush down and save him. I didn't teleport away. Instead, I dug one ice step after another in the ice valley. I always thought that maybe one day, I could dig the ice steps to the bottom of the valley and find him. Ning Cheng's heart sank completely. Yu Qing did not have any signs of life. He didn't know how long she had fallen. Some of the ice flowers fell on Yu Qing's black hair and eyelashes, looking like white pearl flowers, which made her look even more miserable. If Shen Qinyu couldn't come here, then even he wouldn't be able to find Shen Qinyu in the boundless sea of twilight, which also had restrictions on his spiritual consciousness. Chapter 731. Ning Cheng hugged Yu Qing's ice-cold body and stood still. He had thought that Yu Qing might have fallen in the time wilderness, but he never thought that it would be like this. She had not even reached the cracked canyon when she fell in the ice crystal forest. No matter what he thought, Yu Qing had fallen because of him. He could no longer erase Yu Qing's shadow from his memory. He had never seen such a persistent woman, one whose pure eyes could not allow even a speck of dust to seep into them. Maybe it was because she felt that she owed him, Or maybe it was just as she said. After entering the time wilderness, she truly fell in love with Wanderer. Ning Cheng did not know how she survived the last period when she fell into this ice cave alone. Was it the icy coldness that accompanied her, or was it the longing for Wanderer? Thinking of Yu Qing carving an ice wall and an ice statue for him alone, Ning Cheng's eyes turned moist for the first time for a woman he was not familiar with before. Maybe he did not feel sorry for Yu Qing, but he just could not get rid of the guilt and sadness in his heart. He was about to stand at the top of the starry skies, and he was about to become one of the strongest people in this part of the universe. He still had 7 emotions and 6 desires, and he still could not look at life and death with a calm expression. No matter what position Ning Cheng stood in, he still had the heart of a mortal. A bolt of lightning flashed through his mind, and Ning Cheng seemed to have a kind of enlightenment in his heart. It was just that this enlightenment was fleeting, and he could not grasp it at all. Yu Qing, Ning Cheng lowered his head, and 2 drops of tears fell onto Yu Qing's body. He finally could not control the sadness in his heart. It had nothing to do with love. It was something that could not be expressed in words. Was it sadness, nostalgia, reluctance? Or maybe it was none of these, but a seed that had begun to germinate. A faint ray of light flashed, causing Ning Cheng to look at Yu Qing in his arms with incomparable shock. After the 2 drops of tears fell onto Yu Qing's body gradually disappeared. It was a forbidden technique, Ning Cheng suddenly understood. This forbidden technique was cast in front of the deceased. Once the deceased's body was touched, some of the celestial essence hidden within the body would burn their body into nothingness. When Ning Cheng first saw Yu Qing's body, he did not notice the celestial essence hidden within Yu Qing's body. In just a few breaths of time, Yu Qing's body vanished into thin air, leaving behind only a green dress. Ning Cheng stared blankly at the blue robe that he was holding in his hands, as an endless emptiness welled up in his heart. He didn't stop Yu Qing's transformation. This was her choice. He believed that Yu Qing wouldn't want anyone to stop her transformation. Before this moment, he was still thinking that maybe one day he would be able to recover Yu Qing's soul, just like how he still could not save Sun Hanrui. As long as he found Yu Qing's soul, he would definitely find a way to help Yu Qing come back to life. While this thought was still lingering in her mind, Yu Qing had already corroded her body. A purple half-moon-shaped jade talisman fell into the palm of Ning Cheng's hand. Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness trembled as it fell onto the purple moon-shaped jade talisman. There were some faint words engraved on the surface of the purple moon-shaped jade talisman. I want to stay here with Wanderer forever. I really don't want anyone to disturb me. Unfortunately, someone still managed to disturb me. My body can no longer be touched by others. If anyone touches me, I will immediately corrode into nothingness. I don't blame you. You did it unintentionally. If you want, please help me send this half-moon-shaped jade talisman to Culmination Starland's Yu Clan Corner City. My mother, Shen Mengyan, will definitely feel grateful. If you have any requests, just mention it to Yu Clan Corner City. They will definitely satisfy you. Yu Qing. Ning Qing gave out a long sigh. Yu Qing should have used her last bit of vitality to restore her appearance to its most beautiful state. She even turned her white hair black, perhaps for the sake of the persistence in her heart. He wanted Yu Qing to fall here, and then let Yu Qing corrode into nothingness. The pain he felt in his heart couldn't be expressed in words. After a long time, Ning Qing took out a jade box and put the jade talisman inside. He then put Yu Qing's blue dress into another jade box and sealed it with restrictions. After doing all this, Ning Cheng's mood turned sour to the extreme. It wasn't until 3 days later that Ning Cheng started arranging array formations. He wanted to take this entire canyon into his true spirit world and bring it out of the time wilderness. Every piece of ice wall here was his most precious possession. At the same time, he wanted to completely seal off this place so that no one would ever come to this place again. Unfortunately, his cultivation was still too low, otherwise he could have even taken away the time wilderness. As a few days passed by, Ning Cheng's array formation rolled up the ice valley, just like a long ice vein, as Ning Cheng dragged it along. The entire ice crystal forest erupted with roaring sounds as Ning Cheng sent the 10 ice walls of the ice canyon into his true spirit world. Although his cultivation had been suppressed, his attainments in the Tao of array formations remained, along with his powerful corporeal body. Things that other celestial gatherer cultivators couldn't accomplish were not difficult for him. The roaring sounds continued and spread out more and more. Even after Ning Cheng sent away the entire ice canyon, the entire ice crystal canyon started to rumble. Rumbling sounds continued to spread out from under his feet, as if the entire ground would explode at any moment. Ning Cheng flew over the ice crystal forest and saw that the entire ice crystal forest had indeed started to crack. Apparently, it was caused by him taking away a large part of the ice canyon. The more Ning Cheng looked at it, the more frightened he felt. Maybe in just a few moments, this ice crystal forest would completely collapse. He suddenly remembered the steps of life, which was another thing left behind by Yu Qing. In case this place collapsed on a large scale, maybe even the steps of life would be destroyed. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng quickly left the ice crystal forest and wanted to rush into the glacial canyon that cracked open in front of the transmission array. He wanted to send the steps of life into the true spirit world through the array formation, just like before. When Ning Cheng arrived at the place where he had fallen, the glacial canyon that had cracked open previously had already disappeared. In front of him, there was only a single transmission array. Ning Cheng deliberately walked to the crack and stepped on it with his foot. It seemed to be empty, but it did not crack open at all. His spiritual consciousness penetrated it, but it could not reach too deep. The ice rock under his feet was extremely thick. Ning Cheng felt a little worried that if he forcibly blasted open this ice rock, it would cause the same kind of collapse as the ice crystal forest. At that time, the steps of ice, carved by him and Yu Qing, would truly disappear. Even when he separated from Yu Qing, Ning Cheng did not think about what would happen between him and Yu Qing in the future. After experiencing these things, Yu Qing completely disappeared, causing Ning Cheng to feel even more sentimental in his heart. He did not want the things left behind by Yu Qing to disappear. Currently, he did not have the ability to take away the steps of life. But in the future, when he had the ability, he would definitely come back here to take away the steps of life. The rumbling sounds behind him gradually subsided. When Ning Cheng once again looked back, he was shocked to find that the ice crystal forest had not completely collapsed. Instead, there was an incomparably wide inclined passage above the ice crystal forest. This passage was completely composed of pure ice. Inside this passage, one after another, an aura of vicissitudes seeped out, along with a mysterious and incomparably mysterious aura of time. Ning Cheng landed on the sloping ice crystal passage and swept his gaze inside. There was only a vast expanse of whiteness inside. Even if his spiritual consciousness could reach the end, it would still be a vast expanse of whiteness. Regardless of whether there were any dangers inside, Ning Cheng did not think too much about it and quickly entered the sloping passage. This sloping ice passage was very long, and unlike the other passages, the further down one went, the wider the passage became. The icy cold on both sides of the passage permeated over one after another, just like the waves in the sea, constantly crashing into Ning Cheng's body. With Ning Cheng's powerful body-forging corporeal body, he did not even need to circulate his celestial essence to resist. The icy cold just hit his body and dissipated without a trace. Half an hour later, Ning Cheng finally stopped. At the end of the sloping passage, there was a huge ice crystal door in front of him. Ning Cheng rarely saw a triangular-shaped door, but he saw it today. This door was not only triangular in shape, but the three corners also had different colors. The uppermost corner was gray, the left corner was black, and the right corner was white. Each corner had a large keyhole, and these three keyholes exuded an aura of time, causing people to tremble involuntarily. Temple of Time? Ning Cheng looked at the triangular door and muttered to himself in shock. He felt sure that this was the Temple of Time. With three keyholes of black, white, and gray, and also exuding an aura of time, if this was not the Temple of Time, then what was it? Ning Cheng had just said the three words Temple of Time, when three vague words appeared in the middle of the triangular door. That's right, it was the Temple of Time. Ning Qing never expected that the Temple of Time would be under the Sea of Twilight's ice crystal forest. He had thought that the Temple of Time was just like the Perpetual Moon Fort, a place within the Time Wilderness. According to the distance he had walked and the direction he was heading, plus the entrance to the Temple of Time, Ning Cheng inferred that the true main hall of the Temple of Time should be under the endless ice crystal plane. Time wheels covered the ice crystal plane. If the range of one's spiritual consciousness was too small, or if one didn't have spiritual consciousness, one wouldn't be able to stay on the ice crystal plane for long, let alone open the ice crystal plane to find the Temple of Time. Although he found the Temple of Time, it was a pity that he only had 2 keys. How could he enter the Temple of Time? Ning Cheng carefully looked around the Temple of Time's entrance and made sure that there were no restrictions around it. Can I not use the keys? After hesitating for a while, Ning Cheng decided to give it a try. After all, this was just a solid ice crystal door without any array formations. If it didn't work, he wouldn't lose anything. Thinking of this, Ning Cheng directly brought out his Nirvana spear, aimed it at the Temple of Time's entrance, and shot it down. Chapter 732. Boom. After the Nirvana spear struck the ice crystal door, a loud explosion erupted. The terrifying flow of time swept over, and just the aftermath of the flow of time caused Ning Cheng's hair to turn white in an instant. Ning Cheng did not dare to continue to stay outside, and did not hesitate to enter the mysterious yellow bead. The flow of time was blocked by the mysterious yellow bead and could no longer affect Ning Cheng in the slightest. So powerful! After a good while, Ning Cheng exclaimed to himself. Just the shock waves from the passage of time caused his hair to turn white in an instant, and his lifespan to shrink by an immeasurable amount. If he was truly swept away by the flow of time, he probably wouldn't even have the ability to resist and would have already died of old age. What a terrifying Temple of Time, but even more terrifying was the Perpetual Moon Holy Emperor. How strong was the powerhouse who could build such a terrifying law of time like the Temple of Time? In other words, just how strong was he? Perhaps if he faced the Perpetual Moon Holy Emperor, the other party would only need to raise his hand and cast time elapse to turn him into ashes. It stood to reason that a powerhouse like the Perpetual Moon Holy Emperor should have stood at the peak of the universe. In reality, this kind of person would still be killed by others. How powerful was that fellow who killed the Perpetual Moon Holy Emperor? Ning Cheng took in a deep breath. For a while, after killing eternal cultivators, he truly thought that he wasn't much worse than eternal cultivators. Today, when he saw the handiwork of the Perpetual Moon Holy Emperor, he finally understood what a true powerhouse was. If even someone as powerful as the Perpetual Moon Holy Emperor could be killed, then how strong would a true powerhouse be? The ignorant are fearless. After a long time, Ning Cheng's spiritual consciousness swept out again and found that the aftermath of the passage of time outside had completely disappeared. He then came out of the mysterious yellow bead and stood outside the gate of the Temple of Time. If he did not have the mysterious yellow bead, that spear would have taken his life. Although the Temple of Time contained many rare treasures, these things were not easy to obtain. Without the 3 keys to the Temple of Time, Ning Cheng felt sure that even if 10 Chuan Xinlo stood in front of him, he wouldn't be able to do anything. This time, Ning Cheng did not stop for long and resolutely turned around and left. As long as he and Duan Gantai didn't come here at the same time, it wouldn't matter who came here. As for finding Duan Gantai, he wasn't in a hurry. Once the matters in the mysterious yellow celestial river were over, he would head to Culmination Starlands Clan's corner city to take a look. Since both the mysterious yellow celestial river and the mysterious yellow sect came out, if La Fei and Qianghua heard it, it wouldn't be difficult for them to learn his name. After reaching the outside of the Sea of Twilight through the transfer array, Ning Cheng took the initiative to crush the Jade Talisman. As soon as the Jade Talisman shattered, Ning Cheng instantly teleported to the starry skies outside the Time Wilderness. Ning Cheng had come to this place once before, which was the periphery of Striking Order Starland. Ning Cheng didn't plan to go to Lucky Heaven City to catch up with Striking Order. He had many things to take care of in the mysterious yellow celestial river, and he wanted to go back and settle down. However, just as he was about to bring out the starry sky wheel, a cultivator in the celestial bridge realm quickly flew over. After the cultivator saw Ning Cheng, he quickly bowed and said, "Sang Yuan Shan greets Senior Ning." Ning Cheng looked at this celestial bridge cultivator in doubt. "Did you deliberately wait for me here?" Sang Yuan Shan said respectfully once again, "Yes, this junior has been ordered by the great emperor to await senior respectfully." Ning Cheng nodded. Most likely, striking order Heavenly Emperor feared that he would enter the time wilderness on his own, so he decided to wait here. Striking order knew that once he entered the time wilderness, he would immediately teleport out. Moreover, the teleportation location would be in the vicinity of this place. "Alright, you can go first. I'll also go to Lucky Heaven City to see Brother Striking Order." Since Striking Order Heavenly Emperor had sent someone to greet him, if he didn't go, Striking Order Heavenly Emperor would definitely overthink things. Ning Cheng decided to visit Striking Order Heavenly Emperor on the way. Yes, this junior will take his leave. Sang Yuan Shan tactfully bowed and retreated. Lucky Heaven City remained the same. After so many years, when Ning Cheng came here again, he felt very emotional. When he first came here, he was still a celestial novice cultivator and had to look at the faces of others. At that time, Striking Order Heavenly Emperor had killed many cultivators fighting in Lucky Heaven City with just a raise of his hand, killing Distant Star Celestial River King and Essence Continent Celestial River King. The shock he felt back then, however, now seemed ordinary. As long as one's cultivation reached the required level, it would not mean anything. Today, when he came here again, he needed Striking Order Heavenly Emperor to come out and greet him. Entering Lucky Heaven City, Ning Cheng stood at the entrance of a rest stop and remained silent for a long time. The first time he came here, Su Binglan had stopped him, and Yu Qing had come out to help him. The rest stop was still the same rest stop, but the people from that time had never returned. Hee, this little big brother, we really are fated to meet again in a blink of an eye. You're not waiting for your lover here, little brother Ning Cheng, are you? A frivolous and familiar voice arrived. The change from little big brother to little brother seemed very normal in her mouth. Ning Cheng looked back and saw two familiar faces. Back then he had only seen one familiar face, but today he saw two familiar girls who looked very similar. The girl on the left looked like a porcelain doll. Not only was she beautiful, but her skin was also very white. She also had a pair of bright black eyes that blinked. She had an innocent and pure appearance that made people want to approach her. The girl on the right looked a lot more mature and had the same pure and beautiful appearance. However, Ning Cheng knew very well that neither of these two women was pure. Moreover, the girl on the right looked even more mature, while the naive girl on the left was the ancestor of the girl on the right. He knew both of these women. The woman on the left was Su Binglan, and the woman on the right was Su Yingde. Su Binglan founded the Severing Emotions Dao sect, a disgusting sect, while Su Anjin and Su Yingde carried it forward. It was a sect of perverted women that no one could understand. Ning Cheng's gaze fell on Su Binglan's face and did not speak for a long time. Yu Qing once again appeared in front of his eyes. He had first seen Su Binglan in this place. Because Su Binglan and Su Yingde looked too similar, Su Binglan almost found an excuse when he was in a daze. It was Yu Qing who helped him out. Replying to Senior, "He is my friend Ning Cheng. We made an appointment to meet here." The place was still the same, and the people were still the same, but Yu Qing was missing. Why wasn't Su Binglan missing? Su Yingde also did not expect to see Ning Cheng here. This was the person she had chosen to sever her emotions, and also the man she later destroyed with her own hands. However, this man did not die and was still alive. Moreover, he even came to the starry skies and seemed to know her great-grandmother Su Binglan. No one knew that she had truly fallen in love with Ning Cheng. If not for Yin Kongchan suddenly breaking in that morning, she would have already become Ning Cheng's woman. If she had become Ning Cheng's woman, then she would not have severed her emotions towards Ning Cheng. It's just that there was no if in this world. Everything was destined. She stared at Ning Cheng in a daze, the man she once loved, the man she successfully severed her emotions with. In the Severing Emotions Tao sect, a man who had severed his emotions was still alive. Moreover, he was still so strong that he even came to the starry skies. Ning Cheng was perhaps the first, perhaps the only one. No one knew that when she learned that Ning Cheng and her master Shi Qianghua had become Tao companions, she felt the hatred and bitterness in her heart. Her man could be under her, he could die, but he could never be hugged by another woman. Little Dai, do you know him? Since Su Binglan could enter the void and found a sect, how could she be a simple person? When she saw Su Yingdai's eyes, she immediately understood that Su Yingdai knew Ning Cheng. Su Yingdai spoke up with a dry voice. Yes, he is the person I severed my emotions with. Oh, you already have my Su clan's woman, yet you still dare to date other wild women. You really are something. Su Binglan raised her eyebrows, and a trace of anger appeared on her porcelain doll-like face. Ning Cheng's tone suddenly turned cold. Su Binglan, originally I only had a grudge against Su Yingdai. If you dare to say even half a word of disrespect to her, this father wouldn't mind turning you into ashes. I, Su Binglan, would like to see how you turn me into ashes. Believe it or not, if I kill you in Lucky Heaven City, nothing will happen to me. While speaking, Su Binglan's murderous aura overflowed, just like a blade that was about to explode. Ning Cheng felt speechless. Su Binglan originally had a celestial bridge cultivation, but now she had advanced to the undead realm. Presumably, in her opinion, killing an ant like him would only take a matter of minutes. Sister Lan, don't kill him. Su Yingdai anxiously stopped Su Binglan. Su Binglan looked at Su Yingdai in astonishment. Why don't you kill him? This man didn't die even after you severed your emotions. I don't mind if you take pity on him. It's just that this kid dared to date another woman, and even protected another woman. Sister Lan. Ning Cheng looked at Su Binglan and Su Yingdai in disbelief. How could these two people call each other Sister Lan? Ning Cheng, let's talk alone. I have a few words to say to you. Su Yingdai looked at Ning Cheng and spoke softly. Ning Cheng glanced at Su Yingdai with disdain and spoke up calmly. Perverted sects really only produce perverted women. And courting death. Su Binglan's murderous aura once again burst out. However, her murderous aura and domain did not press down on Ning Cheng. Instead, she suddenly retracted it. A moment later, she put on a soft smile and took a few steps forward before speaking. Heavenly Emperor, how come you have time to come out? She saw Striking Order Heavenly Emperor rushing over. In any case, she had to meet Striking Order Heavenly Emperor first. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor apparently saw that she wanted to deal with Ning Cheng. Therefore, his face sank and he raised his hand and slapped Su Binglan's face. Get lost. Sect Master Ning is my most honored guest. How dare a woman like you disrespect Sect Master Ning? If you don't apologize to Sect Master Ning immediately, you can go and kill yourself. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor's words were incomparably decisive and contained a hint of chill. Ning Cheng sighed in his heart. He could see that Striking Order Heavenly Emperor treated Su Binglan very well. Otherwise, Striking Order Heavenly Emperor would have already killed Su Binglan. Why would he slap Su Binglan and ask her to apologize to him? Su Binglan and Su Yingdai froze at the same time. They never expected that Striking Order Heavenly Emperor would attach so much importance to Ning Cheng. Moreover, he even said that he was the most honored guest. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor obviously came out to greet him personally. What was going on? Chapter 733. Su Binglan's reaction was much faster than Su Yingdai's. Regardless of Striking Order Heavenly Emperor's slap, Su Binglan immediately came up to Ning Cheng and gave him a respectful bow. Binglan's words were too heavy. I ask Big Brother Ning to forgive me. This ice orchid is willing to accept any punishment. Even if Big Brother Ning asks this ice orchid to die, this ice orchid will not hesitate for even half a moment. By the time she finished speaking, her face was already filled with endless regret and panic. Coupled with her beautiful and innocent appearance, it really made people feel pity for her. After she apologized to Ning Cheng, she didn't stop there. Instead, she turned to Striking Order Heavenly Emperor and bowed while sobbing. Binglan has disgraced Heavenly Emperor. Please punish her, Heavenly Emperor. Because Big Brother Ning was once Little Butterfly's Dao companion, when I saw Big Brother Ning, I felt too anxious and wanted to stop him from taking responsibility for Little Butterfly, so... Ning Cheng was speechless. This woman really did not have even half a shred of shame in her heart. However, he also knew that he could not do anything to Su Yingde. He and Striking Order were currently in their honeymoon period. At this time, even if Striking Order did not speak to Su Yingde, it would still be equivalent to slapping Striking Order's face. With Striking Order's attitude towards him, if an ordinary woman dared to treat him in such a manner, Striking Order would have long since killed her. He wouldn't have slapped her and made Su Binglan apologize. From this, one could see that Striking Order Heavenly Emperor cared a lot about this Su Binglan. The mysterious yellow celestial river had just started to develop. Therefore, not only did Striking Order need him as an ally, but he also needed Striking Order as an ally. When Striking Order heard Su Binglan's words, his eyes immediately lit up. He and Su Binglan had an affair. If Su Binglan's younger sister, Su Yingde, and Ning Cheng got together, wouldn't that make their relationship even closer? Seeing that Striking Order wanted to speak, Ning Cheng understood what he wanted to say. So, he stopped in front of him and said, "Brother Striking Order, let's go inside and talk." His thoughts were the same as Striking Order's. He didn't want the two of them to have any suspicions because of other things. If he rejected Striking Order Heavenly Emperor's proposal, in any case, Striking Order would definitely have some thoughts in his heart. Now, it was better for him to refuse before Striking Order brought up this matter than to refuse after it was brought up. As a great emperor, it wasn't a big deal for him to play with a little girl. Moreover, playing with this girl could increase the friendship between everyone. What did he mean by refusing? It's just that Striking Order didn't understand Ning Cheng. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor had controlled Striking Order's starry sky for many years. Therefore, as soon as Ning Cheng spoke those words, he understood that Ning Cheng didn't have any thoughts about Su Yingde. He did not mention it again, and just laughed and said, "Yes, yes, let's go inside and talk, Brother Ning please." After saying that, Striking Order Heavenly Emperor took the lead and personally led Ning Cheng inside. "Little Dai, what's going on?" Su Binglan looked at Ning Cheng and Striking Order Heavenly Emperor's backs and asked in shock. "I also do not know." Su Yingde was also completely at a loss. She also did not know what was going on. Even if Ning Cheng grew more powerful, he wouldn't call someone like Striking Order Heavenly Emperor a brother, right? Su Binglan's expression turned dignified as she pulled Su Yingde to a remote place and asked again, "What is the origin of this Ning Cheng? Don't you know anything about it?" Su Yingde hesitated for a moment before speaking. He is somewhat mysterious and has always been very strong. In the Forsaken Land, both Mai and Yin Kongchan's cultivations were sealed, and even our spiritual consciousness could not stretch out, but he could. He always has some means in times of danger, but I can't see through these means at all. After Su Binglan listened to Su Yingde's words, she frowned and spoke up after a while. This kid definitely has a big secret on him. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to call Striking Order Heavenly Emperor a brother. Strange, Striking Order Heavenly Emperor did not use forceful means to search for him, but instead used this method. Su Binglan spoke to herself, but after a moment, she raised her head and stared at Su Yingde before speaking with a trembling voice. Striking Order is definitely not a soft-hearted person, nor is he a person who is swayed by emotions. For him to treat that Ning Cheng like this, the only possibility is... Su Yingde understood Su Binglan's meaning and spoke up in disbelief. This is unlikely. How long has he been in the starry sky? What's unlikely about it? I know that old lecher Striking Order too well. If not for me pleasing him in bed, that son of a bitch would have already killed me today. For him to treat Ning Cheng with such an attitude, the only possibility is that Ning Cheng's strength is no less than his. In such a short time, to possess strength no less than Striking Order, this Ning Cheng is just too terrifying. The more Su Binglan spoke, the brighter the light in her eyes grew. Su Yingde recalled Ning Cheng's strength in the graceful star mainland and somewhat believed in her great-grandmother's speculations. She murmured, "It is indeed possible. When he was in the graceful star mainland, he was already incomparably strong. Not only did he destroy a major faction, but he also strengthened the Rainbow Fall Sword sect. He even dared to kill his way into the Severing Emotions Dao sect and challenged the Heaven Alliance. In the end, no one dared to stand in his way." "You said that he even killed his way into my Severing Emotions Dao sect?" Su Binglan looked at Su Yingde in amazement. Su Yingde could no longer hide it and spoke, "Yes, he killed his way into the Severing Emotions Dao sect and even managed to retreat. The cause of this matter was her, Su Yingde. At that time, she had truly fallen in love with Ning Cheng, to the point that she even wanted to give up her life to Ning Cheng. If she had not left the Forsaken Land, she believed that she and Ning Cheng would have already become husband and wife. Unfortunately, she and Ning Cheng ultimately lacked some fate. When she was about to form a body with Ning Cheng, Yin Kongchan had interrupted her. After the three of them left the Forsaken Land, her cultivation method allowed her to sever her emotions without hesitation. She did not speak about this matter because after she successfully severed her emotions, she no longer wanted to kill Ning Cheng. "You really are stupid to the extreme, such a person. Why would you want to sever your emotions on him? You should have caught him. If you had caught him, would we be in such a miserable state now? I took off my clothes to sleep with him, using all kinds of means to please him, but what was the result? If he wanted to slap me, I would have to apologize." Su Binglan's tone turned even more unfriendly. Su Yingde spoke up in a weak voice, "I am at the critical point of severing my emotions. If I do not sever my emotions, it would be difficult for me to advance even an inch. I might even lose my virginity to him." "Baba, severing your emotions? Severing your fart? You already have a good man. Are you still afraid of not having a better cultivation method?" Su Binglan spat out a few times, before speaking up in a depressed voice. Su Yingde spoke in her heart, "Wasn't this cultivation method left behind by you?" However, how could she dare to talk back? Su Binglan remained angry for a long time before she suddenly spoke, "Little Dai, if you go and continue your fate with him, maybe he will." Su Yingde did not wait for Su Binglan to finish her words, before she shook her head and vetoed, "Impossible, I have some understanding of him. He is amenable to coaxing but not coercion. For a woman who betrays him, he would never take it to heart. If it weren't for me using my life to protect him several times, even if I took off my clothes and stood next to him, he would not be tempted." Su Binglan grabbed Su Yingde's hand and spoke up eagerly, "It doesn't matter, I will teach you some moves that will make this little man unable to stop himself. You see Striking Order, that arrogant person, wasn't he also captured under me? Otherwise, he might have killed me today." Su Yingde just shook her head and did not speak. She suddenly felt some hatred towards Yin Kongchan. If not for Yin Kongchan, she would have already become Ning Cheng's woman. Su Binglan, seeing Su Yingde not speaking, spoke up with even more enthusiasm, "Why don't I accompany him first? I don't believe that he would remain indifferent to my means." Su Yingde looked at Su Binglan in shock. She could not believe that Su Binglan would say such a thing. Did the Severing Emotions Dao sect have no shame? Seeing Su Binglan still wanting to say something, Su Yingde firmly shook her head. Maybe if she went on, Su Binglan would say even more outrageous words. "I'd rather die than do this." Su Binglan could see Su Yingde's determination, and the fanatical look on her face disappeared. She gave out a sigh and spoke, "In that case, we will have to leave. If we continue to stay in Striking Order Star Land, it would truly be a dead end. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor is ruthless and merciless. Although he did not kill me now, he will definitely kill us in the future to please that surnamed Ning. When our cultivation reaches the eternal realm in the future, we can then come back and talk about revenge." Su Yingde looked in the direction Ning Cheng left in and murmured after a long time, "Let's go." She understood Su Binglan's words. If the two of them did not leave, they would definitely face death. For a person like Striking Order Heavenly Emperor, killing them would be as simple as pinching an ant. Striking Order Heavenly Emperor's residence was much simpler compared to Leveled Heart Emperor Mountain. He helped Ning Cheng pour a cup of spiritual tea and spoke up with an apologetic tone. "Brother Ning, I have some connections with that Su Binglan. She should be worried that I would find trouble with her, so she left the city. I don't think she will come back again, alas." After Striking Order Heavenly Emperor finished this sentence, he sighed and continued, "Brother Ning, please give me some face and don't bother with her the next time you meet her." Ning Cheng felt slightly startled. Did Striking Order Heavenly Emperor place such importance on relationships? Was it worth it for him to plead for leniency over a mere husband and wife relationship? It stood to reason that Striking Order Heavenly Emperor was a decisive person and would never bring it up just because of a personal affair. What's more, Striking Order and Su Binglan were just a couple. He had already protected Su Binglan once before, and now he was pleading for her again. Was she really that important to him? Moreover, he didn't even stop Su Binglan from leaving. Brother Striking Order is truly a person who places great importance on relationships. In fact, I don't have much of a gap with her. Since Brother Striking Order said so, I naturally won't take it to heart. Ning Cheng spoke with a slight smile. In front of Striking Order Heavenly Emperor, if he disagreed, it would be equivalent to slapping his face. Moreover, because of Striking Order's plea, Ning Cheng's favorable impression of Striking Order had skyrocketed. "Many thanks, Brother Ning." Striking Order deliberately cupped his fists towards Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng suddenly understood that Striking Order Heavenly Emperor had investigated him and knew about his character. That's why he deliberately said those words. Striking Order and Su Binglan had an affair. If Striking Order abandoned Su Binglan for the sake of his relationship with him, it would not please Ning Cheng at all. On the contrary, it would make him feel that Striking Order was not a person worth befriending and a person who put benefits above everything else. Striking Order slapped Su Binglan in front of him and then pleaded for leniency behind Su Binglan's back, which would only make him look at him in a different light. These people weren't people who could be taken lightly. After understanding all this, Ning Cheng smiled and said, "These are all trivial matters. I came here this time to visit Brother Striking Order and invite Brother Striking Order to the ancient Shadow Temple." Chapter 734. Striking Order sighed and said, "Brother Ning, I'm anxious about this matter." Gua Sangon invited more than a dozen eternal experts, including 7 or 8 starry sky emperors, to mysterious yellow celestial river. Not only Chuan Xinlo and Yi Jiufeng, but even Zhang Kong Tianji of Demon Domain and Xiao Jirwei of Devil Domain are also there. Ning Cheng suddenly stood up, and his expression turned ugly. He didn't expect that Gua Sangon would stir up trouble the moment he left mysterious yellow celestial river. No, Gua Sangon would never dare to do this. Ning Cheng instantly understood the problem. Chuan Xinlo definitely had Gua Sangon's backing. Otherwise, how could Gua Sangon dare to do this? Because Brother Ning said that mysterious yellow celestial river is outside and not under the control of Grand Culmination Starry Sky. So I can't say anything. I'm afraid that Chuan Xinlo is behind all of this. Chuan Xinlo is targeting you. Otherwise, he would never have invited Xiao Jirwei and Zhang Kong Tianji. Striking Order understood Ning Cheng's anxiety. Since he and Ning Cheng had formed an alliance, he couldn't do anything about this situation. "Brother Striking Order, I have to return to mysterious yellow celestial river immediately." Ning Cheng stood up. With more than a dozen eternal experts in mysterious yellow celestial river, he couldn't feel at ease outside. Striking Order also stood up. "I'll go with you. Brother Ning, don't worry. As long as you and I are alive, those people won't dare to do anything excessive in mysterious yellow celestial river. Besides, I've already told Brother Tang to inform me if anything happens." Ning Cheng spoke up with a cold voice. "If they dare to touch even a blade of grass or a tree in mysterious yellow celestial river, don't blame me for cutting off their foundation. Ning Cheng, am a man of my word." Hearing Ning Cheng's cold words, Striking Order Heavenly Emperor felt a chill in his heart. He couldn't afford to offend this Ning Cheng. If he offended him, he could only kill him. Otherwise, there would be endless troubles in the future. Stately River Star, covered Snow City's city master mansion. Song Tsaiha accompanied a group of eternal experts in the guest hall to discuss the Tao of alchemy. He seemed to be in high spirits. However, Deputy City Master Helian, who was currently in charge of covered Snow City, didn't even have the qualifications to enter. Sect Master Tsong, we've been talking about the Tao of alchemy here for days. It's not like we're pill emperors. It's really boring to stay here and talk about pill Tao. A middle-aged man with a folding fan in his hand said in a strange tone. Yes, Brother Fu is right. Sect Head Song is the #1 alchemy emperor. Discussing the alchemy Tao with us, we really can't understand. How about this? If you don't like the Tao of alchemy, you can go and rest. We can wait for Sect Master Ning to come back before heading to the ancient Shadow Temple. Another person suggested. Song Tsaiha spoke up in a flat tone. Since Sect Master is not here, I don't know where to arrange for everyone to stay. I can only ask Brother Fu and Brother Gua to bear with it for the time being. Ning Cheng wasn't in covered Snow City, and Song Tsaiha was by himself. Therefore, he absolutely couldn't let these experts out of his sight. Otherwise, if something were to happen to him, he would not be able to live up to Ning Cheng's trust. The cultivator surnamed Gua still wanted to say something, but he heard a cold voice. If you can't bear to listen, then scram. Don't make a fuss in this emperor's territory. Cultivator Gua's expression changed and he was about to stand up when he was pulled back by Gua Sangon. Gua Sangon knew that Ning Cheng had returned. Grandmaster. Song Tsaiha's face lit up with joy as he stood up. To be honest, there were more than a dozen eternal-level powerhouses here, including the supreme powerhouses of the 10 Grand Starry Sky Emperors, which put a lot of pressure on him. Now that Ning Cheng had returned, he finally felt a bit relieved. You Brother Ning, I didn't expect to see you again so soon. Heavenly Emperor Wu Hong laughed and stood up with cupped fists towards Ning Cheng. Immediately, everyone in the room stood up and greeted Ning Cheng. After all, this was Ning Cheng's territory, and they all wanted to make a fortune in this place. Are you Sect Master Ning Cheng? An old man with a dark face looked at Ning Cheng and asked. Ning Cheng understood at a glance that this person was no weaker than Chuan Xinlo. Moreover, he seemed to have met him before. Song Tsaiha quickly stepped forward and introduced him to Ning Cheng. This is Heavenly Emperor Qiao Jierwei, the Devil Domain Grand Starry Sky Emperor. He came here on the invitation of Endless Void Doc's Gua Sangon. Could Gua Sangon invite Qiao Jierwei? Ning Cheng sneered in his heart. Besides, what does my covered Snow City's ancient Shadow Temple have to do with you, Gua Sangon? But now wasn't the time to act up. Since Gua Sangon wanted to die, then he shouldn't leave. Ning Cheng greets Brother Qiao. It's an honor for my mysterious yellow sect for Heavenly Emperor Jierwei to come to my covered Snow City. Ning Cheng said with a smile. Qiao Jierwei felt slightly taken aback. He had heard that Ning Cheng was young and full of vigor. Just because he had a bit of cultivation, he didn't put others in his eyes. Ning Cheng had told Gua Jingtian to fuck off as soon as he came in. Qiao Jierwei thought that the rumors were true and was ready to teach Ning Cheng a lesson when Ning Cheng scolded him. But he didn't expect Ning Cheng to be so kind to him. He came from afar as a guest, so he couldn't attack the host for no reason. Song Tsaiha naturally didn't want Ning Cheng to have a conflict with someone like Heavenly Emperor Jierwei. Therefore, he quickly pointed to a strong, bare-chested man and introduced him. This is Demon Domain Grand Starry Skies Zhangkong Tianji Heavenly Emperor. Zhangkong Tianji looked like a barbarian, but in fact he was more polite to Ning Cheng than Qiao Jierwei. With Song Tsaiha's introductions, Ning Cheng finally got to know who these people were. The ordinary-looking middle-aged man sitting next to Chuan Xinlo was called Yang Yu, a middle-stage eternal cultivator and a member of Chuan Xinlo. Sitting next to Yi Jiufeng was a very handsome male cultivator called Shi Jinyu, an early-stage eternal cultivator. He looked a bit like Yi Jiufeng's gigolo. The middle-stage eternal cultivator sitting next to the black-robed Qiao Jierwei was called Shi Haoyan, most likely a cultivator from the Devil Domain. In addition, there was also Fu Yingkue, the middle-aged man who said that Song Tsaiha's alchemy Tao was boring. He held a folding fan in his hand and was the Starry Sky Emperor of Silver Feather Starry Sky, middle stage eternal cultivator. Mu Hao, with an expressionless face, looked like a dead man. Starry Sky Emperor of Heaven Net Starry Sky, late stage eternal cultivator. Sun Jia, Starry Sky Emperor of Water Immortal Starry Sky, late stage eternal cultivator. This woman always had a smile on her face and looked very friendly. Although she wasn't as beautiful as Yi Jiufeng with her long hair, she still looked pretty. As for Bright Heaven Starry Skies Heavenly Emperor Wu Hong, Snapping Ascension Starry Skies Heavenly Emperor Shin Mao, Weapon Emperor Jinming Qianhua, and Tang Yitong, Ning Qing knew all of them. Endless Void Docs Gua Sangon and the early stage eternal cultivator sitting next to Gua Sangon, Song Tsaiha didn't introduce them at all. Ning Qing felt very satisfied with Song Tsaiha. Apparently, when Song Tsaiha heard him telling the eternal cultivator surnamed Gua to fuck off, it meant that he had thoroughly offended him. Therefore, there was no need to repair the relationship. Ning Qing cupped his fists and said, "Today, this Ning invited you to Covered Snow City because of the ancient Shadow Temple. Many thanks to the Heavenly Emperors for coming to my stately river star." Sect Master Ning, you're wrong. Everyone can come here because of my Endless Void Docs invitation. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with you, right? The early stage eternal cultivator next to Gua Sangon stood up again and spoke with an unhappy tone. Who are you? Ning Qing looked at this early stage eternal cultivator in doubt. The cultivator sneered, "This emperor has been to the heavenly well. Every invitation is personally sent out by this emperor. A dignified eternal level powerhouse like you dares to talk nonsense. The ancient Shadow Temple is in the Endless Void Dock?" Ning Qing frowned. Guijing Tian spoke with disdain. "The ancient Shadow Temple is in your Covered Snow City, so what? This ancient relic?" Ning Qing didn't wait for Guijing Tian to finish and interrupted without hesitation. "You also know that the ancient Shadow Temple is in my stately river star's Covered Snow City? So what if it's an ancient relic? Does your Endless Void Dock not have any ancient weapons? Does that mean that anyone can rob your Endless Void Dock's ancient weapons? Since that's not the case, then shut your bird's mouth. What does my Covered Snow City's ancient Shadow Temple have to do with your Endless Void Dock? You're not this emperor's dog, so what right do you have to help this emperor invite guests? This emperor did invite guests, but not your Endless Void Dock. What are you doing here? You can fuck off now. Stately River Star doesn't welcome you." Chuan Xinluo's face also turned ugly. He knew that Ning Qing calling Guijing Tian a dog was tantamount to cursing him. "You're looking for death." Guijing Tian overflowed with murderous intent, and a powerful domain blasted towards Ning Qing. At the same time, his gaze shifted to the rest of the people, wanting to know who would stand up to help. Gua Sangon didn't move. He knew that he couldn't stand up at this time. Only after someone else stood up to help could he stand up. But to Guijing Tian's disappointment, no one stood up to echo Guijing Tian. Although these people were invited by the Endless Void Dock, they didn't come here because of the Endless Void Dock, but because of the ancient Shadow Temple. Without the ancient Shadow Temple, the Endless Void Dock wouldn't have such a big face. They came here for their own benefits. If they stood up to help the Endless Void Dock, it would truly be taking advantage of the Endless Void Dock. The Endless Void Dock could invite them, but if you want to take advantage of them, Guijing Tian, you're thinking too much. Ning Qing didn't care about Guijing Tian's killing intent at all. Instead, he looked at Song Tsaiha and asked, "Sect Master Song, our invitations should have already been sent out, right?" Song Tsaiha was a Starry Sky rogue cultivator and understood the meaning behind Ning Qing's words. Why would Ning Qing invite others to the ancient Shadow Temple? Ning Qing wanted to find an excuse to establish his prestige. He quickly spoke up, "Yes, we've already sent out our invitations. I'm afraid that someone might have stolen our invitations, and we haven't heard anything from the person who sent the invitations." Ning Qing looked at Guijing Tian with a cold expression. "I was wondering why you knew so much about the guests I invited. It turns out that you killed the guest who sent me to deliver the invitations, and then sent the invitations in the name of your Endless Void Dock. Not only that, but you even challenged my territory and overflowed with killing intent. Do you think my mysterious yellow celestial river is easy to bully? Do you think my mysterious yellow sect and Ning Cheng are easy to bully? Are your dog eyes blind? Ning Cheng didn't even finish his words. His celestial river domain suddenly erupted, and at the same time he punched out. If he didn't establish his prestige today, not to mention that no one would look at his mysterious yellow sect in the future, he wouldn't be able to swallow this anger. This was Ning Cheng's full strength, and he didn't hold back at all. Kaka. The two people's domains blasted together, and Guijingtian's domain shattered into pieces. Guijingtian felt shocked. He knew that Ning Cheng wouldn't dare to attack him, which was why he acted so unscrupulously. He didn't expect that Ning Cheng's courage seemed to be forged from fine iron. He didn't hesitate to attack him, and with such strength. The moment he brought out his weapon, he felt his surroundings stagnate. Not to mention time, even space seemed to have stopped. Chapter 735. A beautiful red sunset appeared in front of Guijingtian, which made him unable to bring out a weapon to destroy it. No, it wasn't that he couldn't bear to destroy it, but the sad sunset had enveloped him, making him unable to move. It was as if he had seen the dusk of his life. This was a laws of time-related spirit technique. Guijingtian felt inexplicably horrified. At the moment of death, he crazily burned his essence, blood, and longevity. Poof! A bloody mist erupted. The moment Guijingtian's nirvana spear slammed into his chest, he forcibly twisted his body by burning his life and essence blood. Even so, Ning Cheng's nirvana spear blasted one of his arms into pieces and turned it into a bloody mist. Guijingtian frantically retreated while raising his hand to grab a few medicinal pills and swallowing them. In just a few breaths, his other arm regrew. But this new arm's aura was much weaker, far inferior to his previous arm. After doing all this, he looked at Ning Cheng in shock. He knew that it wasn't the laws of time, but a spear attack that was infinitely close to the laws of time. If it were the real laws of time, Ning Cheng would have killed him with that spear attack. Ning Cheng looked at Guijingtian coldly, and the nirvana spear in his hand once again gathered killing intent. He hadn't used his full strength just now. He didn't even use the real laws of time in Sunset's twilight. It was still the same Sunset's twilight as before. In fact, when he came out of the time wilderness for the second time, he had already comprehended the laws of time, or at least controlled a corner of the laws of time. However, he had concealed his true abilities just now. Using the real laws of time to kill Guijingtian with a spear attack would indeed be a huge relief. However, he would have to reveal one of his trump cards. In this place, Guijingtian was just a trivial ant. For Ning Cheng, if he could kill Guijingtian, he would kill him. If he couldn't kill him, he would never use the laws of time on Guijingtian. All the eternal-level experts in the guest hall felt shocked by Ning Cheng's spear attack. What would they do if they suddenly faced the spear attack? Fortunately, Ning Cheng hadn't comprehended the real laws of time. That spear attack was just a bluff. Chuan Xinluo's eyes flashed with horror. He understood that Ning Cheng's spear attack wasn't the real laws of time. At most, it could only compress time infinitely and create a false time stop. This child definitely couldn't be left alive. To be able to compress time and infinitely approach the laws of time, he would definitely comprehend the true laws of time in the future. Once Ning Cheng comprehended the real laws of time, even Chuan Xinluo might not be Ning Cheng's opponent. Old fart, how dare you act so cocky in my territory? Take another spear strike from yours truly. Ning Cheng's domain once again blasted out. He felt sure that as long as no one intervened, he could kill Guijingtian this time. Moreover, he wouldn't even need to use his real trump cards. Guijingtian, who had burned a lot of his lifespan and essence blood, looked like an old man on the verge of death. His face was pale, and he could feel that his domain was completely suppressed by Ning Cheng. His eyes filled with horror and fear. Gua Sangan's expressions turned ugly. If Chuan Xinluo didn't come forward, then he would have to step up. He could not let Ning Cheng kill an eternal-level expert of the endless void docks. What made him feel fortunate was that although Ning Cheng was powerful, but he was not as powerful as he showed on the surface. All right. Chuan Xinlo stood up. Dao friend Gu spoke badly in Sect Master Ning's mansion, and Sect Master Ning has already reprimanded him. Let's forget about this matter. We came here today to discuss how to enter the ancient Shadow Temple. Ning Cheng showed a slight smile and put away his Nirvana spear. Since Leveled Heart Heavenly Emperor said so, then I'll let this trash go. If he dares to talk nonsense in front of me again, I won't be so polite. Although Ning Cheng smiled, killing intent surged in his heart. This Chuan Xinlo truly didn't have any good intentions. Unfortunately, his strength was too low, and he couldn't do anything to Chuan Xinlo at all. If he continued to force his hand, he would definitely tear apart all pretense of cordiality with Chuan Xinlo. It really was a pity. If he had grown a bit stronger, he could have killed Guijing Tian with that spear strike without using the real laws of time. But now, Ning Qing didn't even bother telling Guijing Tian to fuck off. If he told Guijing Tian to fuck off, how could he scheme against this fellow in the ancient Shadow Temple? What was 10 years too late for a gentleman to take revenge? For Ning Qing, even one more day was too much. He didn't care about being a gentleman or not, as long as he could take revenge. Sect Master Ning's laws of time really are amazing. Silver Feather Starry Sky Emperor Fu Yingkue smiled and opened the folding fan in his hand. Everyone could see the sarcasm at the corner of his mouth. Fu Yingkue truly felt frightened by Ning Cheng's strength when he first came in. But after Ning Cheng made his move, he realized that Ning Cheng's spear strike didn't contain the real laws of time. Even if Ning Cheng was a bit stronger than him, there was still a limit to his strength. As such, he didn't feel any fear towards Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng's face remained calm and didn't respond to Fu Yingkue's words. He didn't hide the real laws of time spirit technique to deal with Fu Yingkue, an ant, but to deal with Chuan Xinlo. Zhang Kong Tianji shouted at Fu Yingkue, "Don't talk about this nonsense, it's just a waste of time. We came here to go to the ancient Shadow Temple." Now that the ancient Shadow Temple is in Sect Master Ning's territory, Sect Master Ning sealed it. Since Sect Master Ning went in once, why don't you talk about it? Ning Cheng ignored Fu Yingkue and spoke politely to Zhang Kong Tianji. "Heavenly Emperor Tianji, the ancient Shadow Temple can be opened at any time. However, there is a poisonous mist inside. Everyone should be careful of this poisonous mist. We can go in now." "That's for the best. I don't like to procrastinate." Zhang Kong Tianji spoke with a simple tone. Ning Cheng turned around and smiled before cupping his fists towards Chuan Xinlo. "Leveled Heart Heavenly Emperor, I want to ask you something." Chuan Xinlo replied with a calm expression. "Sect Master Ning, you can speak freely. As long as I know it, I will naturally say it. I heard that a piece of breath soil had appeared in Culmination Starland before. Did Leveled Heart Heavenly Emperor obtain this piece of breath soil? I've always wanted to know what breath soil looks like. I don't know if Leveled Heart Heavenly Emperor can open my eyes to it." Ning Cheng spoke with a smile. As soon as Ning Cheng's words came out, everyone's eyes immediately swept towards Chuan Xinlo. Yi Jiufeng's breathing even quickened. Her wind thunder apricot tree was currently neither dead nor alive. If there was even a little bit of breath soil, her wind thunder apricot tree could not only live happily, it could even grow a thunder apricot tree. Chuan Xinlo felt angry in his heart, but he didn't show it on his face. Instead, he showed a faint smile and said, "Sect Master Ning might have made a mistake. What was auctioned in Culmination Starland wasn't breath soil, but a piece of soil that once contained breath soil. I did manage to obtain that piece of soil, but the value of this piece of soil was very low. I put it in the Leveled Heart Emperor Mountain, but the effects were not as obvious as the legend said." "Ah, so that's how it is. It looks like the rumors are not credible, alas." Ning Cheng sighed and asked, "Since Leveled Heart Heavenly Emperor put the breath soil in the Leveled Heart Emperor Mountain, you must have found out where this breath soil came from, right?" Chuan Xinlo grew even angrier. He felt sure that Ning Cheng knew that it wasn't breath soil, but this fellow kept saying that it was breath soil. "I didn't find anything about it. This kind of thing is an epic-making treasure. How could people easily find out about it?" Chuan Xinlo clenched his fists and continued to speak with a calm tone. Ning Cheng also gave out a regretful sigh. "I thought that Leveled Heart Heavenly Emperor used that piece of breath soil because he found out about it. If it were me, I would never have used it without finding out about the origin of that breath soil. It looks like Leveled Heart Heavenly Emperor has an open mind. Chuan Xinluo almost vomited blood in his heart. This bastard was always drawing hatred to himself. He only needed to look at the eyes of the eternal holy emperors around him to understand that if it really was a piece of soil used to store breath soil, no one would use it before finding the breath soil. If it was used up, there were only two possibilities. One was that it wasn't a piece of soil used to store breath soil, but the real breath soil. The second was that they had already found the origin of the breath soil. What made Chuan Xinluo even more vomit blood was that Ning Qing didn't wait for him to speak at all and spoke up again. After this matter with the ancient Shadow Temple, I might have to go to Culmination Starland. By the way, I heard that Leveled Heart Heavenly Emperor obtained a fragment of the Good Fortune Indestructible Axe last time. I don't know if I can feast my eyes on it. Sect Master Ning, although we came to your Jiangzhou star, you should pay a little attention to your words. However, you have to be careful with your words. Good fortune treasures are not something that can be obtained easily. If I said that Sect Master Ning had a good fortune treasure on him, maybe Sect Master Ning would not be happy, right? Chuan Xinluo's tone already contained a hint of killing intent. Ning Cheng spoke up in surprise. Why would I not be happy? If I obtained a good fortune treasure, I would be overjoyed. So why would I be unhappy? Does that mean Leveled Heart Heavenly Emperor didn't obtain a good fortune treasure? Alas, I think I overthought it. Brother Zhongming wouldn't have gotten it, right? When the good fortune treasure appeared in Culmination Starland, I remember that Brother Zhongming was also there. Although Zhongming Qianbua was a weapon emperor, he didn't count for anything in this place. Ning Cheng couldn't even touch him, let alone a few starry sky heavenly emperors. Now that Ning Cheng had ignited the flames of war over his head, he quickly waved his hand and said, "That thing has nothing to do with me, it has nothing to do with me. I didn't try to snatch it." As soon as Zhongming Qianbua said those words, Ning Cheng understood that he had achieved his goal. He simply nodded and said, "That's right. Although Brother Zhongming is a good person, this good fortune treasure should still be some distance away from Brother Zhongming. Let's not talk about this. Let's hurry to the ancient Shadow Temple." Although Ning Cheng said that he wasn't qualified to obtain a fragment of the Good Fortune Indestructible Axe, Zhongming Qianbua didn't dare to say even half a word of nonsense. Chuan Xinluo's face turned livid with anger. Ning Cheng might not have said anything, but in fact, Zhongming Qianbua had already confirmed that a fragment of the Good Fortune Indestructible Axe had appeared in Culmination Starland. Moreover, this kid even went so far as to say that it was a good fortune treasure. Once this matter was confirmed and the hatred shifted to Chuan Xinluo's head, this kid wouldn't say anything about it. Wouldn't it make it clear that everyone suspected that the good fortune treasure was on Chuan Xinluo? If Zhongming Qianbua wasn't qualified to obtain it in Culmination Starland, then apart from Chuan Xinluo, who else in Culmination Starland could? Chapter 736. Sect Master Tsang, you don't have to go to the ancient Shadow Temple. Just stay here and take care of the sect. I'm afraid that some thieves might come to my stately river star to steal things while the heavenly emperors are away. Ning Cheng knew that the ancient Shadow Temple must be extremely dangerous. Moreover, after he secretly provoked them, everyone became even more united. Therefore, he didn't want Song Tsaihe to take the risk. Ning Cheng felt very satisfied with his provocation. He could never let Chuan Xinluo and the other heavenly emperors join forces. He had to find some trouble for Chuan Xinluo. Otherwise, he wouldn't even know how he died. In fact, Ning Cheng thought too much. Even if he didn't provoke them, Chuan Xinluo, Zhang Kong Tianji, and Qiao Jierui wouldn't have peed together. Yes, Sect Master. I will protect stately River Star and the mysterious Yellow Sect. Song Tsaihe quickly responded. Ning Cheng smiled and turned to leave the guest hall. He didn't even bother to say hello. Although he was weak right now, after he advanced to the Eternal Realm, he would visit everyone here one by one as long as they didn't die. When the rest of the cultivators saw Ning Cheng leave, they also followed Ning Cheng out of the guest hall. Chuan Xinluo's anger only lasted for a moment before he calmed down. He didn't even bother to explain. This Ning Cheng really admired this person. If it was replaced by him, then he would definitely retort back in a sarcastic manner. It seemed that his temperament was still lacking compared to Chuan Xinluo's. After Ning Cheng sealed off the ancient Shadow Temple and stately River Star's entry and exit became strictly controlled, the outside of the ancient Shadow Temple was once again covered with snow. The bustling atmosphere from a few months ago seemed to have disappeared and turned cold. Sect Master Ning's attainments in the Tao of array formations are indeed formidable. Standing here, I can only feel the restriction of array formations, but I can't sense where the array base is. Sun Jihe, who always had a smile on her face, suddenly spoke up. Fu Yingkue immediately followed up. Yes, if we all enter the ancient Shadow Temple, and Sect Master Ning suddenly seals the ancient Shadow Temple, hehe. Ning Cheng didn't bother with Fu Yingkue at all. He raised his hand and shot out several array flags, and a dark entrance appeared in front of everyone. In fact, not only Ning Cheng, but even the other eternal holy emperors didn't take Fu Yingkue's words to heart. As soon as the entrance of the ancient Shadow Temple appeared, Zhang Kong Tianji rushed in. Immediately after, the rest of the eternal level powerhouses entered the ancient Shadow Temple one by one. Ning Cheng stayed behind. Seeing Fu Yingkue still standing outside hesitantly, he gave a cold snort and said, "If you don't have the guts to go in, then get the hell out of stately River Star for this emperor. Don't embarrass yourself here." Fu. When Fu Yingkue heard Ning Cheng's words, his anger immediately flared up. Ning Cheng raised his hand and brought out the Nirvana spear before speaking with a calm voice. "I'll give you 3 breaths. If you don't go in, then get the hell out of stately River Star. Otherwise." Ning Cheng didn't finish his words, but the murderous aura overflowing from his celestial river domain had already enveloped Fu Yingkue. After realizing that Ning Cheng's laws of time were fake, Fu Yingkue's impression of Ning Cheng immediately soured. But now that everyone had entered the ancient Shadow Temple, facing Ning Cheng alone, he felt an inexplicable fear rising in his heart. For a moment he really wanted to leave stately River Star. In the end, his pride overcame his fear, and with a cold snort, he rushed into the ancient Shadow Temple. Ning Cheng was the last to enter the ancient Shadow Temple and sealed the entrance again. By the time Ning Cheng came in, the people who came in before him had already entered the innermost area. The things on the periphery of the ancient Shadow Temple weren't attractive enough for these eternal experts. Moreover, none of these eternal cultivators were stupid. None of them stayed on the outside and rushed straight into the innermost area. As for worrying about getting trapped by Ning Cheng's array formations, it was just a joke. No matter how powerful Ning Cheng's array formations were, he couldn't trap more than a dozen eternal cultivators at the same time. The poisonous mist that overflowed outside had also dissipated. Ning Cheng also didn't stay on the periphery and quickly headed towards the Real Ancient Shadow Temple. When Ning Cheng arrived at the edge of the ancient Shadow Temple's poisonous mist, more than a dozen eternal cultivators had already arrived. However, none of them rushed into the mist. Apparently, they all knew about the dangers of the mist here. It was no different from the last time he came here. It was still shrouded in a poisonous mist, and one's spiritual consciousness could only penetrate more than 10 feet. Even spiritual consciousness can't penetrate this place. Moreover, this mist has a hint of murderous aura. It's too strange. Fu Yingkue stood behind Gua Sangan and spoke with a worried tone. Yi Jiofeng sneered. "Just because your spiritual consciousness can't penetrate it doesn't mean that others can't." Ning Cheng glanced at Yi Jiofeng in doubt. It stood to reason that Yi Jiofeng and Chuan Xinluo would never ridicule Chuan Xinluo's little brother, Fu Yingkue. "Sect Master Ning, you've been here once. Do you have any good ideas?" After Yi Jiofeng ridiculed Fu Yingkue, she asked Ning Cheng with a smile. Ning Cheng quickly waved his hand. "My cultivation is low. It's already lucky that I can stand in this place. How can I think of any good ideas? As for the several starry sky heavenly emperors, I'll just follow behind and cheer." Qiao Jierwei gave a cold snort. "What's the use of shouting and cheering? Since everyone came to this place together, we should work together. If you don't have the ability, then just retreat." If you want to share the treasures of the ancient Shadow Temple, then go in together. If you don't think you're qualified to get the treasures, then stay outside. After saying that, Qiao Jierwei rushed in first. Ning Qing initially thought that Demon Domain's Zhangkong Tianji would be the first to rush in. He never expected that it would be Qiao Jierwei. After Qiao Jierwei rushed in, the rest of the eternal powerhouses naturally wouldn't show any weakness. Since they came here, no one felt that they weren't qualified to get the treasures. As soon as they entered the poisonous mist, everyone's cultivation could be clearly distinguished. Among the people who rushed into the mist, except for the 4 Grand Starry Sky Emperors, the rest all brought out defensive weapons. Chuan Xinluo, Qiao Jierwei, Zhangkong Tianji, and Yi Jiufeng didn't bring out any defensive weapons. As such, when the mist fell on them, it didn't affect them at all. Guijing Tian, who had a lower cultivation, not only brought out a weapon after Ning Qing taught him a lesson, but he also put on a set of defensive armor over his body. Ning Qing followed behind them without any hurry. He was a body forging expert with a starry sky body, so he naturally didn't need to bring out any weapons. However, he still brought out a defensive shield. He could tell that Chuan Xinluo and Zhangkong Tianji were both body forging experts, which meant that they didn't fear the poisonous mist in this place. As for Yi Jiufeng and Qiao Jierwei, they most likely cultivated a powerful defensive cultivation method. Seeing Ning Qing also bring out a defensive shield, Guisangan felt inexplicably relieved. After everyone entered the mist 100 feet deep, they saw the gate with the words Ancient Shadow Temple written on it. Bursts of mournful whimpering sounds came from behind the gate, which looked very strange. But among the people who came here, the lowest cultivation was at the early stage Eternal Realm. Therefore, no one felt afraid of the whimpering sounds coming from behind the gate. Sure enough, it's the real Ancient Shadow Temple. Qiao Jierwei's eyes flashed with a hint of heat. Let's attack this gate together. With more than a dozen of us in the Eternal Realm attacking this gate won't last long. I agree. Let's attack directly. I'll start first. Zhangkong Tianji was the first to stand up. Immediately after, the rest of the people agreed to attack. But Ning Qing suddenly spoke up. Dao friends, I also agree to attack. Before we attack, I hope that Dao friends can allow me to arrange a sealing array formation here. As for what exactly is inside the ancient Shadow Temple, none of us knows. In case something terrible comes out, we can just pat our butts and leave. This is my stately river star, and I have to be responsible for the countless lives of my stately river star. Humph, it's just a bunch of ants. If they die, then they die. What's there to say? Qiao Jierwei gave a cold snort. He didn't care about Ning Qing before because it had nothing to do with his interests. But now that they were about to enter the ancient Shadow Temple, Ning Qing still wanted to waste time arranging array formations for some ants, which naturally made him unhappy. Ning Qing's tone suddenly turned cold. Qiao Jierwei, you're right. If the things inside cause the destruction of my stately river star, I will go to the Devil Domain Grand Starry Sky. I will refine the planets one by one and turn them all into my back garden. You dare. Qiao Jierwei's anger immediately flared up. He didn't put Ning Qing in his eyes at all. It was because Ning Qing didn't provoke him before. But now, Ning Qing dared to provoke him, Qiao Jierwei. Did he think that Qiao Jierwei was someone like Guijing Tian? That was simply courting death. Ning Qing didn't fear Qiao Jierwei's power and spoke up in a cold voice. My stately river star's people are ants, and your Devil Domain's people are nobles, right? Qiao Jierwei, let's see if I dare or not. Qiao Jierwei felt that his powerful domain couldn't tear apart Ning Qing's domain and felt extremely shocked. He couldn't think of anyone else besides the 3 heavenly emperors who could match him in terms of domains. If he couldn't kill such a person in one go, it would only lead to endless troubles in the future. Yi Jiufeng giggled and stood up. It doesn't take long for Sect Master Ning to arrange an array formation. We can still wait for a bit of time. Qiao Jierwei didn't speak again. After clashing with Ning Qing's domain, he didn't want to continue fighting against Ning Qing. No one thought that Qiao Jierwei listened to Yi Jiufeng's words. Everyone understood that Qiao Jierwei had sensed Ning Qing's strength. Chuan Xinluo frowned slightly. Did Ning Cheng have the strength to make Qiao Jirui feel fear? In any case, Yi Jiufeng had at least one thing right. Ning Cheng arranged array formations quickly. In just half an hour, Ning Cheng arranged a sealing array formation outside the ancient Shadow Temple's entrance. Although this array formation could also seal the cultivators inside, no one cared about it. Everyone here was an eternal-level powerhouse, so why would they fear Ning Cheng's rank 8 sealing array? Now that the array formation has been arranged, let's start attacking. Zhang Kong Tianji finished and didn't wait for the others to start. He brought out an iron rod first. As he raised his hand, the iron rod instantly transformed into a huge cylinder. As the cylinder slammed into the ancient Shadow Temple's entrance, a dull roar erupted. Everyone could feel the ground beneath their feet trembling with just that one move. Chapter 737. With Zhang Kong Tianji taking action, the rest of the cultivators didn't continue to watch and immediately brought out their weapons to attack. With so many eternal-level powerhouses attacking the ancient Shadow Temple's entrance at the same time, just as Qiao Jirui guessed, the ancient Shadow Temple's entrance trembled violently, as if it would burst open the next moment. Catcha! After another round of bombardment, a crack finally appeared on the ancient Shadow Temple's entrance, and a trace of nether wind emerged from the crack. The ancient Shadow Temple's entrance wasn't that big, and with more than a dozen eternal-level holy emperors attacking it, it looked quite dense. Ning Cheng didn't even have the chance to squeeze through, let alone attack. But after the crack appeared on the entrance, a trace of nether wind rushed out. Ning Cheng immediately felt something wrong and immediately retreated. After cultivating to the eternal realm, one's sixth sense naturally became more powerful. Not only Ning Cheng, but even the rest of the people also felt a little strange. Everyone stopped attacking at the same time, but at this moment, the ancient Shadow Temple's entrance suddenly burst open. A violent and cold aura rushed out, and this time, even the 4 heavenly emperors brought out their defensive weapons. Ning Cheng especially noticed that Chuan Xinluo's defensive weapon was a tower, while Qiao Jirui's defensive weapon was a devil gong. But what everyone didn't expect was that after the violent Yin Qi rushed out and hit everyone's weapons, it instantly changed its direction. From a violent explosion, it turned into a powerful suction force. If an ordinary cultivator were to face such a powerful transformation, they would not be able to react in time and would be turned into slag. Of the dozen eternal-level powerhouses here, only Guijing Tian, who Ning Cheng had seriously injured, couldn't resist the suction force. He directly got sucked into the ancient Shadow Temple and let out a scream before disappearing without a trace. Fu Yingkue was only at the middle stage of the eternal realm, but he had seen Guijing Tian get sucked in. Feeling his soul dispersing, he had to use his trump card to retreat. Probably because he retreated too quickly, he ended up in front of Ning Cheng. Ning Cheng had long since found this fellow unpleasant to the eye. So, without hesitation, he raised his foot and kicked. Fu Yingkue clearly felt Ning Cheng's kick, but he found that he couldn't avoid it. His domain felt like thin ice in front of Ning Cheng and shattered in an instant. Bang! Ning Cheng's kick landed on Fu Yingkue's back. Under the powerful suction force of the nether wind inside the ancient Shadow Temple, Fu Yingkue flew inside like a kite with a broken string. Fu Yingkue felt horrified in his heart. Only he knew how insidious Ning Cheng's kick was. Ning Cheng took advantage of the fact that he had focused all his attention on the nether wind to seal off his domain in an instant, making it so that he could not use it. Seeing Ning Cheng kick Fu Yingkue into the ancient Shadow Temple, Chuan Xinluo suddenly brought out the pagoda in his hand. The body of the pagoda instantly expanded and became like a wall, blocking Fu Yingkue's path. Fu Yingkue's back broke out in a cold sweat, and his celestial essence and spiritual consciousness returned to his body. He took in a deep breath and bowed to Chuan Xinluo. Many thanks for Heavenly Emperor's help. Chuan Xinluo nodded to Fu Yingkue before turning around and staring at Ning Cheng coldly. Sect Master Ning, what do you mean by this? Everyone joined forces to enter the ancient Shadow Temple, yet you plotted behind our backs? Most people had seen Ning Cheng's kick just now. Therefore, after Chuan Xinluo saved Fu Yingkue and questioned Ning Cheng, the rest of the people also looked at Ning Cheng, wondering how Ning Cheng would explain it. Ning Cheng spoke up without any hurry. Leveled heart Heavenly Emperor, you can eat whatever you want, but you can't speak whatever you want. What do you mean by plotting behind our backs? At that time, who didn't protect themselves? I was also flustered. Fu Yingkue bumped into me. How do I know he didn't want to plot against me? Is it wrong for me to defend myself? If I wanted to deal with Fu Yingkue, I would have just brought out my weapon. Why would I need to use my leg? Does Leveled Heart Heavenly Emperor think that I should have fallen into a plot? Even if I didn't fall into a plot, I should have at least bumped into him? Chuan Xinluo, does this emperor owe you anything? This emperor let you search for treasures in my stately River Star's ancient shadow temple, yet you keep making things difficult for this emperor. You have a good fortune treasure, but did I ask you for it? Do you think that you have the aura of a bastard? If you don't want to stay here, then get out of here for this emperor. This emperor doesn't welcome shameless people like you. If the first half of Ning Cheng's words were a polite explanation, then the second half directly turned into curses. Chuan Xinluo's face turned livid with anger, and murderous aura overflowed from his body. Even the pagoda in his hand gave out hissing sounds. Since Chuan Xinluo wanted to fight against Ning Cheng, no one wanted to stand up and speak up. Although Striking Order Heavenly Emperor was Ning Cheng's accomplice, he couldn't openly help Ning Cheng deal with his nominal boss at this time. As for Qiao Jierui, he couldn't wait for Chuan Xinluo and Ning Cheng to fight. Yi Jiofeng didn't know why, but she didn't speak up at this time. Courting death, how dare you be rude to the Heavenly Emperor? The ordinary-looking middle-stage eternal powerhouse standing next to Chuan Xinluo took a step forward and shouted. After Guojing Tian fell, Gua Sangan's face had turned ugly. Now that he saw Ning Cheng courting death and taking the initiative to fight against Chuan Xinluo, he also sneered and stood up. Surnamed Ning, I've long since disliked you. You actually want to fight against the Heavenly Emperor. In just a blink of an eye, it turned into 3 against 1. Zhang Kong Tianji showed a smile. Sure enough, you're shameless. 3 against 1. Brother Leveled Heart, I really admire you. Chuan Xinluo's face turned ugly. He had stood up for Fu Yingkue, but this bastard was scared out of his wits by Ning Cheng and didn't dare to take the initiative to stand up. What a coward. In fact, Fu Yingkue truly felt scared out of his wits by Ning Cheng. Only he and Guojing Tian dared to go tit-for-tat against Ning Cheng. But now, before they even entered the ancient Shadow Temple, Guojing Tian had already died, and he almost died as a result. If not for Chuan Xinluo's help, he might have already died at the hands of the ancient Shadow Temple. He wasn't the one with the lowest cultivation here. Tang Yitong was only at the early stage Eternal Realm. Even Jin Mingqian's cultivation was lower than his. Why was he the one in the most danger? He suspected that this place had something to do with Ning Cheng. Why would he find trouble with Ning Cheng? He didn't even dare to look at Ning Cheng, let alone find trouble with him. Yi Jiofeng could see that Chuan Xinluo didn't want to kill Ning Cheng in this place, so she simply bought a favor and said with a chuckle, "Everyone, let's not quarrel. The nether wind in the ancient Shadow Temple has disappeared. We can go in and have a look now." Sure enough, everyone found that the nether wind in the ancient Shadow Temple had disappeared. Instead, it was replaced by a dark passageway. Guojing Tian, who got sucked in before, had disappeared without a trace. Seeing that no one took the initiative to go in, Zhang Kong Tianji snorted, "Since everyone is so timid, I'll be the first to go in." After saying that, Zhang Kong Tianji really took the lead and entered the ancient Shadow Temple. As Zhang Kong Tianji stepped into the pitch-black passageway, an incomparably hollow echo reverberated through the air, causing everyone's heart to shiver. Since Zhang Kong Tianji went in, the rest naturally felt embarrassed to stay outside. Everyone then stepped into the dark passage one after another. Zhang Kong Tianji's footsteps alone felt a little hollow, but with so many people stepping into the dark passage at the same time, the hollow feeling grew even stronger. It felt as if their hearts would burst open at any time. Ning Cheng was still the last to enter. At the entrance of the ancient Shadow Temple, he arranged a few ceiling arrays in a leisurely manner. Although everyone knew what Ning Qing wanted to do, no one wanted to take the initiative to stop him. Ning Qing didn't even put Chuan Xinluo in his eyes. From this, one could imagine that no matter who stood up to stop him, he would do the same. Not only would they not stop Ning Qing, but they would also end up offending Ning Qing. The dark passage wasn't very long, and more than a dozen people quickly reached the end and came to a pentagonal hall. There was also a restriction outside the hall. But by the time Ning Qing finished arranging the array formations, the restriction had already been broken, and 5 golden boxes appeared in the 5 corners of the hall. Although the boxes in each corner were sealed by restrictions, the golden lights still looked extremely dazzling. Ning Qing always had a high awareness of snatching treasures. He immediately rushed to the box in the middle and threw out a few array flags to protect his position. Of the 5 boxes, no matter what, grabbing the one in the middle would never go wrong. Whether the treasures were ranked from left to right or right to left, the box in the middle would never be the worst. If the treasures in the middle were the best, then he would have picked up a bargain. Ning Qing reacted quickly, but the others also didn't slow down. Soon, Zhang Kong Tianji, Yi Jiufeng and her attendant Shi Jinyu, Qiao Jierue and Devil Domain's Shi Haoyan each occupied a corner. Striking order, Tang Yitang, Shen Mao, Wu Hong, Sun Jihe, Mu Hao and Gua Sangon each occupied a corner. The only ones who didn't get anything were Chuan Xinluo, Jinming Qianbua, Fu Yingkue and Yang Yu, Chuan Xinluo's attendant. Jinming Qianbua's strength was too low and missed the opportunity. Fu Yingkue, on the other hand, was scared out of his wits by Ning Qing and didn't dare to snatch it. As for Chuan Xinluo and Yang Yu, they couldn't grab a corner because Ning Qing had already snatched the thing they wanted. In fact, when the 5 boxes came out, Chuan Xinluo and Ning Qing both had the same idea, which was to snatch the one in the middle. It's just that Ning Qing came at the right time, and his speed was extremely fast, allowing him to snatch it before Chuan Xinluo. By the time Chuan Xinluo arrived in front of Ning Qing had already arranged several defensive arrays around the corner. He knew that he couldn't break the restrictions and take away the box in a short time. Therefore, he decided to arrange defensive arrays to protect the box first. Get out of the way! At this time, Chuan Xinluo no longer cared about his face. He had come in with great difficulty, yet he didn't get anything, so why would he care about his face? Ning Qing looked at Chuan Xinluo sarcastically. What's wrong? Are you ready to snatch it? Chuan Xinluo spoke up in a cold voice. You didn't even make a move against the defensive arrays of this hall. What right do you have to snatch a box? Ning Qing laughed. I've seen shameless people before, but Chuan Xinluo, this is the first time I've seen someone as shameless as you. I didn't make a move? Are you blind? When you came in, who arranged the array formations outside? I didn't let you arrange a ceiling array formation out of kindness, yet you still shamelessly talk in front of me? Chuan Xinluo looked at Ning Qing as if he was looking at a dead man and spoke to Yang Yu behind him. I want to see if Sect Master Ning's skills are as good as his mouth. You don't have to do anything. Yang Yu nodded and retreated. However, everyone here knew that Chuan Xinluo's words weren't meant for Yang Yu, but for the other heavenly emperors. He didn't want anyone to talk nonsense while he and Ning Qing fought. Chapter 738. Chuan Xinluo looked very casual. He raised his hand and threw out the white pagoda in his hand. He didn't even bring out an attack-type weapon, which showed that he didn't put Ning Qing in his eyes at all. Ning Qing couldn't wait for Chuan Xinluo to look down on him. This time, he didn't bring out the Nirvana spear. The Nirvana spear was indeed hard, but no matter how hard the Nirvana spear was, it was still just a material. Ning Qing brought out a semi-top-grade Dao artifact long spear, which Ning Qing had refined when arranging the star-protecting grand array. It was also the best Dharma treasure he had refined so far. Ning Qing's long spear hadn't fully activated when Chuan Xinluo's white pagoda emitted one white light after another. Ning Qing relied on his starry sky body as a body forging expert and didn't care about the white light at first. However, when these white lights tore through his domain, Ning Qing realized that something was wrong. These white lights not only easily tore through his domain, but they also contained a trace of powerful Dao charm aura. This aura made it hard for him to breathe, and it even made him want to kneel down in front of it. Chuan Xinluo hadn't even used his killer move yet, but this aura alone suppressed him to the point that he found it hard to breathe. Chuan Xinluo was too powerful. Ning Cheng originally wanted to keep the everlasting Blue Thunder City, but at this moment, how could he dare to hold back? The next moment, he brought out the everlasting Blue Thunder City. As soon as the everlasting Blue Thunder City came out, it turned into a Thunder City covered in faint thunder light. The thunder light within the Thunder City was faintly visible, but the ancient city walls on the edge of the Thunder City were clearly visible. The lightning bolts shuttling through the Thunder City gave off an astonishing aura. Pa-pa-pa-pa-pa. Chuan Xinluo's white pagoda's light bombarded Ning Cheng's everlasting Blue Thunder City and erupted with crackling sounds. In a flash, thunder light overflowed and white light exploded. Ning Cheng felt the pressure on him instantly lighten, and he finally breathed a sigh of relief. The cultivators watching from the sidelines felt shocked, not only by Chuan Xinluo's power, but also by Ning Cheng's heaven-defying Thunder City weapon. The eternal-level Heavenly Emperors joined forces to seal the Thunder Light, which didn't affect the hull. Good Thunder City, good weapon. Yi Jiufeng was a weapon collector. So when she saw Ning Cheng's Thunder City weapon, her eyes immediately lit up. Everyone understood that Ning Cheng wasn't Chuan Xinluo's opponent. In this exchange, Chuan Xinluo had not even used his full strength, yet Ning Cheng seemed to have taken out his trump card. Chuan Xinluo's eyes lit up when he saw Ning Cheng's Thunder City. Sect Master Ning really has a lot of treasures. You can even block the circulation of my burning sky eroding sun pagoda's Dao charm with just a Thunder City. However, if Sect Master Ning only has this much ability, then don't blame me for being impolite. Ning Cheng, Xinluo said searingly. Ning Cheng, Xinluo, Ning. Chuan Xinluo knew that Ning Cheng would quibble. Therefore, he didn't want to waste any more words with Ning Cheng and gave a cold snort. Sword Dao is like a mountain. A series of tearing sounds rang out as the white Dao aura around the inferno sky eroding sun pagoda instantly changed. Then, countless cyan sword lights whizzed out from the pagoda. Tens of thousands of cyan sword lights turned into a sword array, which completely locked down the space around Ning Cheng. At the same time, the Dao charm of the burning sky eroding sun pagoda connected the sword array's lights and formed a sword waterfall. Under the restraint of this sword light's Dao charm and domain, ordinary eternal cultivators couldn't even move, let alone resist. This was also a spirit technique, but it was more effective than other spirit techniques. Using one's own weapon to bring out a sword waterfall, it suppressed the space around it, leaving the opponent no room to resist. Although these sword waterfalls had fused with Chuan Xinluo's Dao charm, which allowed them to control this space, these sword waterfalls still weren't in their most powerful form. After these sword waterfalls connected, the sword waterfalls reversed and once again formed sword peaks, looking like an endless mountain range. Any living creature would turn into slag in the face of this ever-changing sword waterfall and mountain range. Ning Cheng's everlasting Blue Thunder City, under this spirit technique, looked even smaller. The sword lights extinguished one after another, and the Blue Thunder City also started to get cut down by the sword lights. Finally, the Blue Thunder City completely turned into nothingness. Rather than calling it a city, it would be better to call it a dilapidated ruin. Maximal fire. Ning Cheng remained calm. He could feel that there was still a gap between him and Chuan Xinluo. However, if Chuan Xinluo wanted to kill him so easily, it would only be a dream. Boom. A fiery explosion tore through the middle of the Sword Mountain. A violent void collapse gushed out, and the Sword Mountain and Sword Waterfalls condensed by Chuan Xinluo disappeared under the violent void collapse. A terrifying flame burst out from the middle of the collapse, followed by a flame mark along with an axe intent and a spear intent shooting out in all directions along with the flame. After the void collapse swept away 70% of the Sword Mountain that Chuan Xinluo had sent towards Ning Cheng, the fire patterns and axe intent turned the rest into nothingness. After the explosion, the entire hall quieted down again. Ning Cheng stood in place without moving. Apart from his messy hair, no one could see that he was at a disadvantage. The burning sky eroding sun pagoda in Chuan Xinluo's hand turned a little dimmer, and he looked at Ning Cheng in disbelief. That wasn't a space-related spirit technique, but a space-related spirit technique. Yi Jiufeng sighed and spoke slowly. Xiao Jirwei sneered. The laws of time are also infinitely close to it, and the laws of space are also specious. I might as well use a fake spirit technique. Wouldn't it save a lot of effort if everything was fake? No one spoke up. Everyone knew that even if Ning Cheng didn't use a real space-related spirit technique, it was still not something to be taken lightly. If it were them, they couldn't guarantee that they could block Chuan Xinluo's Sword Dao Mountain. No wonder you're so arrogant. You do have a few tricks up your sleeves. You've really mastered these fake laws. Chuan Xinluo sneered, and the burning sky eroding sun pagoda once again soared, turning into 1,000 feet tall white pagoda. If it weren't for the fact that one couldn't see the top of this hall, this burning sky eroding sun pagoda would have already burst through this place. The burning sky eroding sun pagoda directly shot towards Ning Cheng, causing Ning Cheng's celestial river domain to shatter like a spider web. Under the suppression of the burning sky eroding sun pagoda, the newly perfected everlasting blue Thunder City also began to shrink. At the same time, the lightning arcs in the blue Thunder City no longer posed any threat to the burning sky eroding sun pagoda. Catcha! A crisp sound emerged from the blue Thunder City, and Ning Cheng spat out a mouthful of blood. Chuan Xinluo's strength was just too strong, so strong that even with the everlasting blue Thunder City, he couldn't resist it for even half a moment. Seeing Ning Cheng spitting out blood, Chuan Xinluo sneered. Do you think you can use fire? Today, I'll show you my burning sky eroding sun. Burning sky eroding sun was a spirit technique, and the burning sky eroding sun pagoda came to be because of this spirit technique. Ning Cheng had angered Chuan Xinluo. Although Chuan Xinluo had other spirit techniques, he decided to use this spirit technique and the pagoda to crush Ning Cheng to pieces. Not to mention Ning Cheng, even the cultivators watching from the sidelines could feel a kind of difficulty in breathing. Striking Order's eyes flashed with horror. He had thought that if he and Ning Cheng joined forces, even Chuan Xinluo would have to fear them. But now he realized that if Chuan Xinluo wanted to kill him, even if he and Ning Cheng joined forces, it would be useless. Chuan Xinluo was too powerful, so powerful that he couldn't even imagine it. Moreover, he could already feel the pressure coming from the array against Ning Cheng. If Chuan Xinluo attacked him, what would he do? He definitely couldn't stand still in the face of such a terrifying pressure like Ning Cheng. This Ning Cheng really wasn't simple. Fortunately, he didn't defend him. Not only Striking Order, but even Yi Jiufeng, Xiao Jirwei, Zhang Kengtianji and the others also showed fear on their faces. Chuan Xinluo rarely showed his true strength, but today, they finally realized Chuan Xinluo's true strength. Seeing Ning Cheng vomiting blood under the suppression, Chuan Xinluo sneered. Sect Master Ning, this is not my most powerful Dao Charm Spirit technique. If you can hold on, I will show you what a real Dao Charm Spirit technique looks like. Unfortunately, from the looks of it, you won't be able to hold on to my burning sky eroding Sunday. Chuan Xinluo's words made the hearts of Yi Jiufeng and the others sink. Yi Jiufeng had always thought that Zhang Kengtianji was the most powerful among the four of them. But now, it seems that Chuan Xinluo, who usually kept a smile on his face, was the most terrifying fellow. Boom! A burst of white flames erupted from the burning sky eroding sun pagoda. Before the flames came out, everyone could already feel the pressure. But now that the flames came out, the terrifying heat pressure became even more unbearable. Tang Yitang and Striking Order looked at Ning Cheng sympathetically. In this case, even if one brought out a defensive weapon to block this terrifying burning sky eroding sun flame, it would still be difficult, let alone fight back. Striking Order made up his mind that after this matter, he would once again seek refuge with Chuan Xinluo. Even if Chuan Xinluo wanted to take away his Striking Order Starry Sky, he could only let him be. Ning Cheng didn't show any sadness or joy. He didn't even bring out a weapon to block Chuan Xinluo's flames. Although the burning sky eroding sun flame was powerful, as long as it didn't hit his body, it wouldn't affect his starry sky body. just when the burning sky eroding sun pagoda and the endless white flames were about to wrap around Ning Cheng, and when everyone was ready to watch Ning Cheng burn to ashes, Ning Cheng slowly thrust out the long spear in his hand. Ning Cheng's spear thrust didn't feel like he was attacking his opponent, but rather like sending a flower to his lover. It was gentle and without any impatience. What does he want to do? Everyone looked at Ning Cheng in amazement. No one knew what Ning Cheng wanted to do right now. No, he didn't seem to be affected by the burning sky eroding sun, which was a bit strange. Yi Jiufeng was the first to see the difference in Ning Cheng, and her eyes immediately lit up. Chuan Xinluo also felt that something was wrong. Ning Cheng didn't seem to fear his burning sky eroding sun spirit technique, nor did he fear his burning sky eroding sun pagoda turning into a 1,000 feet tall mountain peak. At this moment, Chuan Xinluo felt that time around him had come to a standstill. It felt as if a dusk had risen in front of his eyes, slow and sad. Chuan Xinluo sneered. Using this pseudo-spirit technique against him? Did Ning Cheng go blind? But the next moment, Chuan Xinluo felt that something was wrong. He couldn't tear apart this pseudo-spirit technique. No, this wasn't a pseudo-spirit technique. This was the real laws of time. Time seemed to have come to a standstill at this moment. Even his burning sky eroding sun pagoda and burning sky eroding sun spirit technique had come to a standstill. He couldn't feel the flow of anything. When Chuan Xinluo thought of this, his consciousness also came to a standstill. Only his horrified eyes stared at Ning Cheng's slowly approaching long spear. Chapter 739. Laws of Time. This is the real laws of time spirit technique. Qiao Jierwei stared at the motionless Chuan Xinluo and muttered to himself. His eyes flashed with a hint of panic. Even he couldn't control the laws of time, yet Ning Cheng managed to control a trace of the laws of time. This was definitely not a fake divine ability or a fake time law. This was the true law of time, without the slightest bit of falsehood. After Qiao Jierwei saw Ning Cheng's laws of time, he felt a hint of regret in his heart. He shouldn't have angered Ning Cheng for those trivial things. Since Ning Cheng could control the laws of time at such a young age, as long as he didn't fall, his future wouldn't be any smaller than Qiao Jierwei's. Not only Qiao Jierwei, but Yi Jiufeng, Zhang Kongtianji, and the others were also shocked. Yi Jiufeng had already planned to snatch Ning Cheng's things. But as soon as Ning Cheng's laws of time came out, the idea disappeared in an instant. Ning Cheng was much more terrifying than she had imagined. No wonder Song Caihe addressed him as senior. Even Striking Order Heavenly Emperor, who had the most time stones and was the closest to the laws of time, couldn't help but stare at Ning Cheng in disbelief. He couldn't understand how Ning Cheng could control the laws of time. All the people stared at Ning Cheng's slowly advancing spear, although the spear was not aimed at any one of them. But in the eyes of all the spectating cultivators, they could see a wisp of a bleak and beautiful setting sun, and they could faintly see their own dusk. The cultivators watching Ning Cheng's actions all hoped that the setting sun would not fall. Once the setting sun fell, it would feel as if their lives would come to an end, and they would no longer have a glorious moment. Ning Cheng's face remained calm, as he slowly pulled out his spear. This spear still contained all the celestial essence in it, without holding back at all. Facing a powerhouse like Chuan Xinluo, he couldn't hold back. However, this spear wasn't Ning Cheng's most powerful spirit technique. After he came into contact with the Tao of Returning to One, his most powerful move, Sunset's Twilight, was a fusion of the None to Depend On spirit technique. Any divine ability could be fused together to become one. He didn't fuse with the None to Depend On spear. He still held back. Because Chuan Xinluo was too powerful, even if he stimulated all of his celestial essence, he could only thrust his spear slowly. From this, Ning Cheng understood that if he fused with the None to Depend On spirit technique, the long spear would move even slower. His laws of time couldn't last for too long. If he fused too many spirit techniques, Chuan Xinluo might wake up before he could even get close to him. If it were an ordinary eternal cultivator, Ning Cheng's spear would have already pierced through the other party's glabella. Poof! Ning Cheng's long spear finally pierced through Chuan Xinluo's chest, causing blood to splash out. At the same time, Chuan Xinluo suddenly recovered. The burning sky-eroding sun pagoda that was rushing towards Ning Cheng instantly weakened, and the white flames that rushed out also instantly dissipated. After the burning sky-eroding sun pagoda weakened, it flew back rapidly and landed in a straight line. Boom! The burning sky-eroding sun pagoda slammed into Ning Cheng's long spear, causing Ning Cheng's long spear to shake. Everything that was still in place suddenly came to life. Ka! Celestial essence splashed out, and Ning Cheng's long spear flew back. Ning Cheng opened his mouth and spat out another mouthful of blood. Blood overflowed from the corners of Chuan Xinluo's mouth, and his heart also started to bleed. However, he didn't care about it and still looked at Ning Cheng with a cold gaze. Sure enough, you have some capital to be arrogant. You even comprehended the real laws of time. But if that's the case, you can't do anything to me. Ning Cheng remained calm, but the shock in his heart was no less than Chuan Xinluo's. Chuan Xinluo was not only a body-forging expert with a starry sky body, but he also had an inner armor within his body. Otherwise, even if that spear attack was slow, it would have severely injured Chuan Xinluo. As long as Chuan Xinluo suffered severe injuries, he felt sure that Chuan Xinluo wouldn't be able to escape. He had arranged one sealing array formation after another outside, half of which was to deal with Chuan Xinluo. Chuan Xinluo's murderous aura started to overflow, and his killing intent started to grow even stronger. Ning Cheng gripped the semi-top-grade Dao artifact long spear tightly, and his killing intent also started to rise. He felt sure that if Chuan Xinluo wasn't an idiot, he wouldn't attack him again after sensing his imposing aura. If Chuan Xinluo dared to attack him again, he would kill this fellow even if he had to use all his strength. In fact, if Chuan Xinluo gave up, Ning Cheng wouldn't have continued. He only needed to look at the expressions of the eternal-level experts around him to know that he had achieved his goal. He guessed that Sunset's twilight couldn't kill Chuan Xinluo. In fact, Sunset's twilight indeed couldn't kill Chuan Xinluo. Not only did it not kill him, but it also didn't cause any fatal damage to Chuan Xinluo. Ning Cheng's purpose in attacking Chuan Xinluo was to deter him. These eternal-level experts came to his Jiangzhou star and didn't even put Ning Cheng in their eyes. They didn't even greet him. Although Ning Cheng felt angry, he couldn't do anything about it. To make these people fear his Jiangzhou star and even his mysterious yellow celestial river in the future, he had to show his true strength. Otherwise, even if he cooperated with striking order, he would still turn against him. Chuan Xinluo was the best touchstone. Today, he took out the laws of time to fight against Chuan Xinluo, which resulted in both sides suffering heavy injuries. Ning Cheng believed that from now on, as long as Ning Cheng was still alive, no one would dare to covet his Jiangzhou star. He wasn't even afraid of the 4 heavenly emperors, so why would he fear ordinary eternal-level experts? Without Jiangzhou star and mysterious yellow celestial river, Ning Cheng would have chosen to kill Chuan Xinluo secretly. But not now. He had to let everyone know that he, Ning Cheng, wasn't a pushover. As Chuan Xinluo's killing intent continued to rise, so did Ning Cheng's killing intent. Ning Cheng had already connected to the 5-colored star splitter arrow on his wrist. But if he wanted to kill Chuan Xinluo or block Chuan Xinluo, he definitely couldn't do it with his current strength. To succeed, besides the 5-colored star splitter arrow, Ning Cheng had no other trump cards. Ning Cheng's killing intent and imposing manner gradually merged with the 5-colored star splitter arrow, growing stronger and stronger. Chuan Xinluo's eyes grew more and more dignified. Ning Cheng's laws of time-related spirit technique had almost killed him. Or rather, if he wasn't a body-forging cultivator, if he didn't have that armor, would Chuan Xinluo still be Chuan Xinluo? Initially, when he recovered from the shock and decided to kill Ning Cheng, he felt the threat of death emanating from Ning Cheng. He had never felt such a feeling before, but today, he felt it from Ning Cheng. Chuan Xinluo had a bad feeling in his heart. Whether he could kill Ning Cheng or not, he would also be in danger. For the first time, Chuan Xinluo regretted fighting with Ning Cheng. He had always been cautious and would never put himself in danger. Today, with Ning Cheng's imposing manner, even if he managed to kill Ning Cheng, he would still suffer severe injuries. If it were anywhere else, it wouldn't matter much, but not here. With several heavenly emperors keeping an eye on him, once he suffered severe injuries, he would die. Did he count on his followers Yang Yu and Gua Sangon to help him? That would only be a joke. Chuan Xinlo, who understood his situation, gave a cold snort and raised his hand. The next moment, the killing power between him and Ning Qing suddenly separated. Celestial essence bursts filled with killing intent erupted, and the oppressive confrontation between them disappeared without a trace. Ning Qing secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Sure enough, Chuan Xinlo didn't dare to gamble. If Chuan Xinlo really dared to gamble, he would have dared to bring out the 5-colored star splitter arrow. It's just that Chuan Xinlo had taken the initiative. Therefore, Chuan Xinlo could stop the fight, but Ning Qing couldn't. Today, for the sake of coming to Jiangzhou Star to look for treasures, this emperor will let you go. Next time, you won't have such good luck. Chuan Xinlo saw Ning Qing slowly withdrawing his killing intent and felt slightly relieved before speaking with a cold voice. He truly feared that Ning Qing was an idiot who would ignore the surrounding threats and fight to the death with him in this place. Xiao Jierui, on seeing that Ning Qing and Chuan Xinlo didn't fight to the death, felt a little disappointed. But after seeing Ning Qing's strength, he didn't dare to ridicule him again. As for Chuan Xinlo's words, no one laughed at him. Everyone had seen the situation clearly. Although Ning Qing didn't fear Chuan Xinlo still had the upper hand. Ning Qing spoke up calmly. Leveled Heart Heavenly Emperor's words are really strange. First, I, Ning Qing, never need anyone to let me go. Second, it seems that Leveled Heart Heavenly Emperor took the initiative to attack me, and now you say that you'll let me go. Hee, does Leveled Heart Heavenly Emperor think that only the two of us are here? Do you think that I'm the only one who can hear what you said? After Ning Qing's words came out, even Zhang Kong Tianji's eyes showed a hint of seriousness. Since Ning Qing dared to say such provocative words, it meant that he truly didn't fear Chuan Xinlo. Otherwise, if Chuan Xinlo let him go, he would have definitely stopped and wouldn't have said such words to start a fight. Chuan Xinlo felt a slight thump in his heart. He also thought that if he took the initiative to stop, Ning Qing would know how powerful he was. He didn't stop because he feared Ning Qing, but because he was worried about the people around him. But now that Ning Qing still acted so domineering even after he stopped, the only possibility was that Ning Qing didn't fear him at all. Ning Qing also had a more powerful trump card. Thinking about Ning Qing's increasingly tyrannical aura, Chuan Xinlo frowned and spoke up, since you want to court death, I'll accompany you. Although Chuan Xinlo could judge the situation, he would never let a junior like Ning Qing suppress him. Ning Qing showed a faint smile. Leveled Heart Heavenly Emperor is so powerful. Although I don't fear you, I also don't want to fight you to the death. Ning Qing showed a faint smile. Heavenly Emperor Leveled Heart is quite powerful. Although I do not fear you, I do not want to end up in a mutually destructive situation with you. Although I'm not that popular, I always remember the people who act arrogantly in my territory. Although I don't have a lot of people, I always remember people who act arrogantly in my territory. One died just now and another. Fu Yingkue had long since felt scared by Ning Qing's powerful spirit technique. Coupled with the fact that Ning Qing kicked him, he felt an inexplicable fear of Ning Qing. Now that he saw Ning Qing's gaze sweep over, how could he not know that Ning Qing was talking about him? Seeing Chuan Xinlo frown and not helping him, Fu Yingkue's heart sank. With Ning Qing's strength against Chuan Xinlo, Fu Yingkue would only end up dead if he went up. Without waiting for Ning Qing to speak, he quickly cupped his fists and said, I've offended Brother Ning before. Even if Brother Ning didn't say anything, I still feel guilty. After all, I came to Brother Ning's ancient shadow temple and took advantage of Brother Ning. I decided to give my silver feather starry skies profound cloud celestial river to Brother Ning. I hope Brother Ning will not refuse. Ning Qing put away his killing intent and said with a smile, I've long since forgotten about the things Heavenly Emperor Yingkue said. But many thanks for Heavenly Emperor Yingkue's generosity. You know that I've just arrived in the starry sky and don't have many places to live. Since Heavenly Emperor Yingkue is so enthusiastic, I won't be polite. Many thanks, Heavenly Emperor Inkue. Chuan Xinlo looked calm, but he had already killed Fu Inkue 1,000 times in his heart. If someone else had forced Fu Inkue to give up his territory, he could have taken it back. But this Ning Cheng was too strong. As long as he didn't kill Ning Cheng, he could forget about taking advantage of Ning Cheng. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.